I don't understand why I'm not automatically going first.
Oh, you son of a...
Here we go. Now it starts. How many times are we going to hear, well, as returning champ?
It's right there on her title. I mean, what else?
I know. I can't miss it. I'm going to wipe it out.
Do you think that should be a given? I mean,
Shannon, shut up.
Oh, wow. Aggressive right out of the gate.
Fired.
I don't shut up. I grow.
Oh.
Hello, TSPHC Army, and welcome to NerDebate 2, The Reckoning. I'm Casey Ryan, and tonight we have three competitors. Let's start with Todd. Go ahead.
I'm Todd Panic. I'm the co-host of the Superpod Hero Cast, here to reclaim my fallen honor in the shameful defeat of last season.
And Todd, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, as befitting my besmirched honor, I have Omegang Brewing's Game of Thrones Take the Black Stout. I will regain my honor this year, or I will be going north to the wall.
All right, and everyone's favorite Bostonian. Let's hear some from Chuck.
Guys, hi, I'm Chuck Nickerson. I was last year's first loser. I am drinking my classic Pipe Dream Brewing, which I picked up on my road trip back up to New Hampshire. Belgian Strong Ale, 10.5% booze. This could be a fun night.
Oh, boy. And I'm reading here that it says returning champ, Shannon T.
Yes, that would be me. Last year's winner, unexpectedly.
Still under protest.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it can be anymore. We started the second one.
Yeah, so no pressure. As you might know, I'm not a huge beer drinker, so I got some backup wine over here. But
yeah,
just for you guys, I stole this out of my mom's stash. And
you're totally telling your mom.
No, she just brought it to me. Like I got a sip or two left here. So I'm going to drink it out of this cute little Shannon-sized glass. It sounds great. It's a Great Lakes Brewing Company, and I bought this for her. It's the Edmund Fitzgerald, because, it's like a ship that sank in a Great Lakes. And it's a porter. She's probably not going to like it.
No, you're not going to like that at all.
I feel like we need Shannon to describe all of our beers from now on.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be my favorite part.
It's a ship that sank somewhere in the Great Lakes.
Yeah, no, I know. It's a song. Shut up, you guys.
It is?
Gordon Lightfoot. Great song.
75, November-ish. I don't know.
Legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the Great Lake they call Michigooney.
That's not true. What
the fuck is happening?
Have you never heard that song, Casey?
Yes, this is a face of someone who knows what's going on.
It's a kick-ass song.
It's actually one of my top 5 all-time favorite songs.
I don't know it at all.
Good song. Do you want me to tell you what the percentage is in the beer? I don't know what else.
Yes. What is it?
Here's a description. It's robust and complex. This is little words. Sorry. I'm sorry. I haven't drunk any of it. Okay.
Oh, we know.
It's bittersweet tribute to the legendary freighter fallen. Jesus Christ, that's tiny. Sorry.
Todd's muted again.
Make any sense? It has nothing to do with the beer. It's just about the ship.
Okay. So what's the percentage?
It doesn't say. It just says 12 ounces.
All right, that's fine.
Shannon, you're doing great.
Jeez, look at the time.
Shannon, you're so pretty.
Anyway.
All right, so let's start.
All right, let's get this rolling so I can take this crown.
All right, calm down.
You need a haircut first.
Wait. Whoa!
Oh, hey, what is this?
Hey!
Hold on.
What does he got?
No! Not working.
There we go. Now we got it.
Okay, so fix it in post.
Do you want Avengers Assembled? Ladies and gentlemen, a surprise contender was not
What,
able to
nerds?
join us last year, but through the magic of Zoom, Colin Ryan, my brother. Hey, buddy.
Grudging applause. Grudging applause.
Colin, we were just going over what we're drinking tonight. So what do you got? Do you have something ready?
I do have something ready.
Oh.
I have Kings County Brewing Company Superhero Sidekick.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's good.
Look at this beautiful stuff. It's also appropriate that it's from Kings County because the king is in the house.
Oh, God. Oh, here we go.
All right.
This is the show, folks.
Just watch it,
Oh,
folks.
this
Yeah.
is going to be good.
You pay your
I'm
money, you
excited.
take your chances.
Yeah, all right. Whatever you say, man.
So, let the games begin.
Wait, what are we doing?
We toast it first.
What's happening?
Oh, yeah, let's all toast.
Yes.
This is very dark.
So wait,
Over
what do you
the
do?
equipment. Over the
Yep,
equipment.
right
That's
over it.
That's
right.
how we roll.
To the victor go the spoils.
I like some of these glasses. I like that Untapped.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Wait. All right. Just at least give me a style on. You don't have to go over all the beer because people will start skipping.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, very nice. Wait, is that
Take the black stout.
Take the Black Stout? That's a nice one. Yeah.
I'm
Very
doing
good.
my one of my local places from Londonderry, Pipe Dream Brewing. It's a Belgian strong ale.
I've
Lovely.
had that beer. That is a good beer.
And I'm doing a cranberry vodka.
Judges get liquor.
Goddamn right they do.
And I've had that Captain Edmund Fitzgerald, Shannon. That's nice too. Great Lakes does good stuff.
Whatever you say, darling.
Mhm.
How are you
Shannon
enjoying that?
is
Shannon?
not a beer drinker.
Washed it right down with my cherry bomb wine. It's way better.
Do you like cider?
Apple.
Yeah, but hard cider. I think you get a hard cider dispensation, right?
Yeah.
Are you trying to do the Goodwill Hunting? Do you like apples thing? Is it?
I got a number.
Apple.
How you like them apples? All right.
All right.
So that's a fairly early movie for Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, right? Like that was kind
Okay.
of what introduced us to them, right? So the
Kinda.
first game we're going to play is called And Introducing. I have chosen some actors of note and looked up their first movies. I'm going to give you the movie. You're going to have to try and figure out who the actor is.
Are we yelling like barbarians here?
I know. How are we doing this?
I
It's
feel
like no whammies, stop.
I did not think about that.
Yeah.
Raise your hand.
Raise your hand.
Okay.
that's why I'm here.
The first one is a movie called The Newcomers.
Everybody, right? Everybody was a newcomer. Isn't that no?
You son of a bitch.
Got a year for the movie?
Nope.
Is that the only movie you're gonna say?
No, there's more to come.
I'm just.
All
I'm-
right.
okay.
Wait. Let's establish the rules of this game. What happens for wrong answers?
Nothing.
Do you lose nothing? Okay.
Nothing.
I feel like if you get a
Colin.
wrong answer, you're done guessing, right?
Jack Nicholson.
No, but you are done guessing.
Oh,
I'm going to take that rule from Todd. That's a good way. Okay. I'm going to give.
You know what? For this movie, so's everybody else.
All right. So that was the introductory movie for a one Mr. Chris Evans.
I almost said that too, just for shits and grins.
Wait, on this. Okay, go ahead. Continue.
Okay. The next one is the movie North. Todd.
I
Elijah Wood.
No. That is not who I have written down. He is from it, but that is not who I have written down.
Good guess.
Shannon.
Edward Norton.
No.
All right.
So Shannon may be onto something.
I've got my hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Colin.
Mark Ruffalo.
No. Chuck, just throw out an answer.
Liam Neeson.
No. That was the introductory movie for one Miss Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, I'm sensing a theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
I don't know what you mean, sir.
Last year, but I think we're onto it faster than we were last year.
Oh, you guys were so lost last year.
You see where I was going?
I
Right?
do. I do.
See? Mhm.
The next movie is a movie called Primal Fear.
Oh,
Colin.
Edward Norton.
Yes, that is correct. 1 point for
Yeah.
Colin.
He's really good in it
With
if you haven't seen
Richard-
it.
Richard
I
Gere.
threw barley.
He's never good in it if you've ever
Aw.
seen it.
Is Richard Gere ever good?
No.
Oh, so he's
Oh
not
no, he was good in Officer and a Gentleman.
Wrong.
I will
Oh,
confess I've never seen it, but
Point taken away from Chuck.
You can't
Oh,
do
no.
that. That's
No,
not how
no.
any of this works.
I'm sorry. Wait, what were you saying, Chuck? I can't
Nothing.
lie? That's right.
That was that offensive.
Okay.
big Kafka vibes in this one here.
The next movie is a movie called Mirror Mirror 3.
Why is there a Mirror Mirror 3?
It's not Mirror Mirror like the... Yes, Colin.
Oh Christ! No, I'm gonna forget his name.
Christ, no, not him.
No. He had a few small bit parts before that. Just kind of churned through the studio
Right.
system and.
That's right.
Oh God! Hawkeye. Oh, what's the?
No, I'm going to let you
Hawkeye.
sit on it. You mean Clint Barton?
Yes, one Clint Barton.
You mean the...
Oh my God! I am blanking on the actor's name.
You give it to him. You.
No, I'm
son
not
of a
going
bitch.
to.
But I can vamp until I think of it. I
Colin,
think that's what I'm going to do.
Is this where I tell the story where
Jeremy
you-
Renner.
Jeremy Renner.
Sure.
Great guess, but also wrong.
But quality vamping, like that's the stuff
Oh,
of
yeah.
good podcasting right there.
I mean, I think
Just
only
total
second...
bullshit. White
second
guys doing
to-
bullshit into a mic.
Yeah, second to when you had to vamp at my wedding when they didn't have the champagne out in time.
No, I can't be. Sorry.
Okay, Todd.
Elizabeth Olsen.
Wrong. Chuck.
I'll go with Zoe Saldana.
Zoe Saldana? No.
Gotta
Shannon?
be Helmsworth.
No.
Thank God. Oh,
This is a little actor by the name of Mark Ruffalo.
That's Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
why? It's just poor choices. I
No,
can't.
nobody remembers him before you can count on me.
This
Oh,
is very true. Okay, last one.
Hmm.
For the scorekeeping, Colin's going to lead all
For a
the
tie?
questions in a second. Okay. The
continue.
last is called Gray Lady Down. Colin.
Hemsworth.
Nope.
Hmm.
Chuck.
Robert Downey Jr.
Nope.
No, he was in his dad's movies in the 60s.
Yeah, I know.
Shannon.
Your Honor.
Nope.
Okay.
Really?
Yes. Todd.
Chris Hemsworth.
No. So you guys figured out the theme that it was the same as last year. Whose favorite superhero didn't I mention during this? Colin, who's your favorite superhero?
Superman?
Who's your favorite Superman?
Chris Reeves.
There it is.
Oh,
Christopher Reeve's introductory movie was a movie called Gray Lady Down. It was about a submarine that sunk.
That sounds good. I want to see that. That all the others were the original Avengers, though, so we all thought we were just doing the original Avengers.
But those are their favorite characters.
Favorites. I feel like I should get that point plus a point for being returning champion.
What? What is
What?
happening?
I'm sorry. Wait,
Well,
hang on. Shannon,
You've
I'm
got
sorry.
no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
This is just going to be an extended exercise in working the refs, isn't it?
In case anyone didn't get it, listening out there that or watching, hello, YouTube. That was all your favorite superhero characters, which leads us to our first game, which is about the best superhero origin movie. So, Colin, you can name yours first, then Todd, then Shannon, then Chuck. Why? Because that's the order I have in the paper in front of me.
All right, so
Just tell me. Just say
We're
the
just
movie.
naming.
Just
say
name me the movie. Yep.
Captain America: The First Avenger.
Okay. Todd.
Unbreakable.
Okay.
Live.
Shannon.
Wonder Woman.
Okay. And Charles.
Superman, 1978.
Okay. Okay. Who would like to do their argument first?
I can't believe Todd's not doing mine for me.
I know. Listen, when you guys sent this to me, I was like, You've all lost your minds.
I literally wrote, Todd's already got this, of course, but
And I actually put in mine and said I have to get it in before Colin gets his in.
Well, yeah, there's one missing that I'm surprised about. Actually, yeah, I have arguments against movies that nobody picked. Right?
I'll start. All of these are good. All of these are good movies. All of these are good origin movies. But I think that in terms of setting up the character and in terms of having a cohesion as a movie, as much as I love Superman 78, it tends to, get a little shaggy in the back third one, and Unbreakable is a terrific origin story. It's all about the fact that it's an origin story, but it did not do the work of setting up its two sequels in the way that Captain America: The First Avenger set up its 50, 60 direct sequels. And Shannon said, what did Shannon say?
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Now that is a tough one. Wonder Woman for me only falls apart when it turns in the last 10 minutes with the CGI slugfest. It's still a great movie, but the way that Ares does it, for me, Ares doesn't work as a CGI. It loses some of its thing. It also does have some unfortunate echoes of the ending of Captain America: The First Avenger. And I just think in terms of a cohesive origin story that tells not only where the character comes from, but why the character needs to exist and why the character is important for the larger universe it's setting up, Captain America: The First Avenger is the top prize.
Okay.
Well, listen, I echo my friend Colin's perspective on this. These are all fabulous movies. However, the question was not fabulous movie. The question was best origin story. And clearly, the movie that focuses only on the origin of a character, even as I love me some Captain America focuses on his origin as a gateway to the larger Marvel Cinematic Universe. Unbreakable, although it will later connect to Shyamalan's world, as a standalone movie, does nothing but that. It's a brilliant movie because Shyamalan went 1 inch narrow and 1,000 miles deep. Thank you.
So, I wasn't like a huge comic book person as a kid, and I didn't really have any experience with any comic books at all. So my only knowledge of Wonder Woman comes from a couple of years as a 1970 something. I don't mean to date myself. TV show. We waited almost 40 years for a solo female-led superhero to come along, and I feel like sorry, I'm reading off my notes.
Go for
it. Batman had dozens of iterations, and Superman has had dozens of iterations, and unfortunately, DC had not been able to get their act together the same way that MCU got its act together. And so by the time Wonder Woman came along, I didn't care about her anymore. And as a kid, we were all playing Super Friends in our front yard. And my brother and I were stuck being the Wonder Twins, unfortunately. By the time X-Men came along, and I didn't care about Wonder Woman anymore. And who would, because you got people like Storm and Black Widow and all these other fantastic female characters, but they never got a solo feature. So along comes this fantastic movie, and I really wasn't positive how they were going to finagle it into something really great. And they finally take a page out of MCU, and despite the I know you guys don't love the Superman versus Batman movie, and neither do I, but okay, sorry, some of you do. She shows up in this tiny little glimpse of it, and then gets her own movie off of it. And I feel like they finally nailed it. And then when she gets her own film, they knock it out of the park. And I don't really see what you're saying with the CGI thing. I guess I could see what you're saying, Colin, with the end of the Captain America bit, but she is kind of America first sort of superhero, right? I mean, she's kind of got the same sort of costume ideals as Captain America. Todd, your argument kind of is really short and sweet. Sorry. I get where you're coming from, but I mean, this is like our first female director. It's something that we've waited for 40 years. The script is pretty good. And they managed to like tackle somebody that could have been really awkward and weird. And she ends up being this really charming, adorable, and kick-ass character at the same time. I think that it was a long time coming. And I think that I finally got back to a female character that I didn't think I would care about anymore. And I think that it's something that I want my nieces to see.
So in case anybody forgot, I went with 1978 Superman. So basically, I think this was even with its minor faults and the special effects that they had back then, it holds its own. It's essentially considered the template for superhero movies. I don't think that if you don't have Superman and Superman 2, which pretty much were made at the same time, you don't have the superhero movies that we have now. It's considered the first modern superhero movie, even though you did have Batman 66 and another Superman movie from 1951. It is considered the first modern superhero movie. You've got the cast is fantastic with 5 Oscar nominees and 2 Oscar winners. Nowadays, you don't see a whole lot of Oscar winners in these movies. A lot of them don't even want to touch them because, you know, it's like you listen to what Steven Spielberg said back 3 years ago. These are going to go the wayside of the Western. I think they're going to hold up. Jackie Cooper is perfect as Perry White, just as well as J.K. Simmons was with Jonah White. You got Christopher Reeves is essentially Superman. I mean, he is Superman. Nobody thinks of Henry Cavill. As much as I have a man crush on the guy, I don't think of him when I think of Superman. I'm just going to say it. Back in 78, it grossed $300 million globally, which right now is $1.2 billion. That's Iron Man stuff. So, I mean, without this, you don't have Iron Man. Iron Man doesn't make $1.2 billion. You got some great stuff. You know, it pays good homage to the comic. You have his first feat of strength is lifting the truck. Action Comics #1 has him doing a feat of strength. It actually was nominated for 4 Oscars. You have 3 distinct acts. I agree with you, Colin. The last act is does get a little cheesy. However, it was so good that I think that Superman 2 is actually close to being as good as the first one, which is very rare for a sequel. But and it also spent 13 consecutive weeks at #1. So, I mean, technically that was a summer blockbuster, 1978. But I don't think you have any of the Marvel cast, any of the Marvel movies if you don't have Superman.
All right. You know what to do. Fight it out.
Well, I have a response to everything, everyone. One little thing for everybody.
Right, go.
Todd, when you say best, there seems to be a confusion or at least a disagreement on the meaning of best. Best, I was thinking of in terms of most quality telling. You seem to be thinking most origin story. It is the most origin story movie. It is the most origin story movie. It's and each of you make good points about the historical importance of these films. Superman 78 is the origin of the modern superhero movie. Wonder Woman is, I hope, the origin of a massive wave of female-led superhero movies. Unbreakable is arguably where the superhero movie breaks into the art house, breaks into, you know, a sort of different style of filmmaking. But Captain America, the First Avenger, just tells its story more tightly, does the bigger job of setting up. And I think the crucial why there's certainly no why to Unbreakable for me. He is because he is.
But sometimes superheroes are because they are.
And some of them are made in a lab.
It relies so heavily on the meta idea of superheroes existing in comics and as an echo of real life that I think it loses the moral certainty that comes with Captain America. The very basic lesson. I think a lot of that is in Wonder Woman.
I know too.
But I'd watch Captain America over Unbreakable any day of the week. But Unbreakable is the best origin movie because Shyamalan said, I only care about the origin. I'm going to go deeper into the origin than any origin movie ever has.
But if you if you only intended to be a standalone, then is it even an origin film? And similarly, if the character has appeared in another film, is it as much of an origin film? I grant you, it's an origin film, but I don't know if it has quite the origin bona fides of something which is the first appearance of the character.
All right, hang on. Shannon was going to say something.
So, Todd, you're talking about a director who holds no weight at all anymore. I mean, like, nobody can really...
How dare you?
But, like, yeah, I mean, you can say that about...
Maybe now.
Made that movie and maybe Sixth Sense, but, like, I mean, yeah, exactly, maybe now. I mean, I can't, like, take anything he says seriously. And then, I mean, Colin, yeah, I see what you're saying as far as morals and whatever, and we love Captain America, but it is kind of boring. I mean, everything, and I mean, sorry, but I mean, Superman, I know you love him, buddy, but like, he's a little bit on the boring side too. I mean, I feel like they took Wonder Woman and took what could have been a real icky, kind of touchy, from what I understand, comic book, and made it not weird and creepy and a lot more, well, I guess Captain America-y. And then they took somebody like Chris Pine, that little darling, and made him basically the girlfriend of the movie. They did a whole heck of a lot with a script that could have gone way off the rails and made it a lot more likable. I mean, you know, you can say what you want about Captain America. It's great. It's a great story, but I mean, it is not. I don't think it's as hard to make those stories.
Here's my issue with the very ending of Wonder Woman is
okay.
I think the incredibly powerful theme of humans don't need Ares to be terrible to each other, which is the real emotional gut punch 20 minutes before the end, is then rather undone by the CGI slugfest with the David Thewlis on top of a, you know, wrestler's body. You know,
that's not him.
You mean he didn't work out for that role?
Lifting.
I work out.
A couple of smart asses.
And I think that
you know where the gym is
makes it a little hard for them to stick the landing. You know, whereas I mean, I think it could. I just also think everything you're saying is true about why it's a good movie. It is a very, very, very good movie, but I don't think it speaks to its power as an origin story.
You're right. Not like Unbreakable does.
No, I didn't think Unbreakable the first time I watched it was actually even that good of a movie, to be honest with you. I had to watch it again.
People are wrong sometimes.
I had to watch it again. I don't know if maybe it went so deep as your average movie guy isn't going to sit there and be like, okay, that's great. But I mean, when I did watch it the second time, I came to appreciate what it was. However, for origin movie, that could have been its own movie. I could have just ended it right there and everybody would have been like, okay, cool. And unfortunately, the other two movies that followed it were kind of just meh. So, I mean, if in terms of setting up, yeah, it's not bad. But I think, you know, Captain America is a great origin movie. And I have no problem with Captain America. Wonder Woman I've always loved, and I think it's the best of the current DC movies. Taking away the Christian Bale black man. But yeah, there are some faults in that too. And predominantly it is the ending. But I don't, like I said, I'm not saying it just because it's the first modern day one, but I don't think that if you don't have Superman 1 and 2, you don't have the follow-ups to it.
But
I would like to, if I may, to respond. I would quote Hannibal Lecter quoting Marcus Aurelius. quoting the first principle of each particular thing, ask, what is it in itself, in its own constitution? Our question in this round of the debate was, what is the best origin movie? Not best film starring a female lead, not best entree to a great 22 movie saga, not even first superhero movie of its kind, but what is the best origin story? And in that, there is no debate. Unbreakable stands above.
Well, but is there not debate given the fact that there was no clear intention to ever have a follow-up? If it's intended solely as a standalone, is it an origin story, or is it merely a self-contained story?
No,
I would
the
suggest
two
that-
movies that followed it were followed up because people wanted to see these movies.
But the question wasn't the first movie in a trilogy. It was the best origin story. And by the fact that there was no requirement to tell a story beyond that, and it simply is an origin story, it goes so deeply and masters that aspect of a character's arc that it stands by itself.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with no.
Yeah, I really think that the biggest thing holding against it is the idea that there was never intended to be a follow-up.
Yep.
I think if your argument is based on Marcus Aurelius, no,
Are you not entertained?
If you're very good.
No, I'm sorry. It's based on Hannibal Lecter. I'm sorry.
Yes. If your argument is based on its ideal being the platonic ideal of a origin story, the fact that there was never intended to be a follow-up and there wasn't for 20 years really does sort of undercut its origin story-ness.
That I see why you picked that, Todd, and I mean, I think it's pretty admirable that you went in that direction and not in the
Bold.
I knew somebody was going to.
I didn't even consider that, so I think it's pretty cool, but I don't think it holds enough weight because, oh God, of the person of everything that everybody has said, and because it's M. Night Shyamalan, who doesn't hold any weight for me anymore. Sorry. And Mr. Colin, I'm not the one. Well, it's really to Todd's point. I'm not the one that brought up all the CGI problems with it. I don't really have that much of a problem with it. It's not the movie itself to me, though that's a huge, huge factor. It is the idea that it ended up being so good is amazing. The fact that they tackled what could have been a very problematic subject and then did so well with it and set it up in the first place and also set it up for a sequel. Like, there's your origin story for me.
So you want extra points because they left out all the bondage that the creator was interested in?
Oof.
This is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
I don't think you get extra points for that.
No, you don't get extra points, but I was going to say, TSPHC Army, look up the history of the creator of Wonder Woman. He was an interesting bird. Let's just leave it at that.
What the hell?
There's a movie based on that story.
There is a film, yeah.
Dr. something in the Wonder Woman. I can't remember what the name of the guy.
Dr. Moulton.
I think that's right.
It's a good movie.
Not in Thor's helmet, though.
Yeah, nor does it need to be.
No. All right, I think I got it.
Okay.
And then, unless anyone's got any closing remarks that they want to say.
I said what I said.
You did. Well, let's start with Todd. No, I'm sorry. It's they took you down too hard. It is too focused on the origin. It's not. It's too much.
Never play Marcus Aurelius in the first round.
At least
Too early. Save him like Pikachu.
Impressive, man.
I like to hold on to Charmander till later Pokemon battles. Thank you very much. So yeah, you said it focused on the character. Shannon's kind of took you down a little. That the beyond Unbreakable, the director really hasn't had clout in a long time.
Why? I would say, so what?
Oh, okay. Well, good for you.
I'd like my complaints on the record for the appeal. Thank you.
It's being both recorded and filmed. So
That's
it's
right.
double recorded.
But the thing that really took it down is that all the rest of these movies, Superman the movie was filming two at once. Wonder Woman was obviously already part of a larger universe. Captain America, we don't really need to get into how many freaking movies Marvel's done. This wasn't a sequel for 20 years. And only because I think, going with what Shannon said, Shyamalan's name had become such garbage. He's like, I got to go back to the well of what people liked. So you're out.
I hear you.
Oh, I'm glad you do, because I'm
this
judging.
time
Because we don't want to fuck with the mics anymore.
Colin, you took a good swing at Wonder Woman by saying that it echoes the end of Captain America: First Avenger. Especially, I think one time when Todd and I were talking about it, I did call Steve Trevor Steve Rogers. I mean, they're both Steves. It really makes it hard to keep them apart. Some of the good things you said were that it really does show in that movie specifically why the character needs to exist. Cap is the moral high ground above all with all the Avengers. So that sets up a lot of things that are echoed all the way until Endgame. So I really like that. Shannon, I have to point out it is not the first female-directed superhero movie. That is Lexi Alexander, Punisher Warzone.
Oh, shit, that's right.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's a bonkers-ass movie, but it's still a superhero movie.
That's right.
It's fucking crazy. Yes, it did tackle the problematic things very well. Kind of going around and just being like, oh, don't pay attention to this thing, and look over here for this thing. They handled that really well. Colin made a good point of that humans don't need Ares to be evil, but it is kind of ruined by the crappy CGI.
I didn't really notice that. Go back and really pay more attention to it.
Yeah, I mean, even when I saw it in the theater, like up to that point, I'm like, oh my God, they cracked the code. They did it. This is a great.
Yeah.
Oh no. And it was right at that point where, much like with from Avengers 1 to Avengers 2, we got tired of what we were calling destruction porn. They really focused on showing them saving people by the second movie. Wonder Woman has the problem of being at the end of we're tired of the superhero at the end fighting a giant CG version of something.
You do a lot of like slow motion crap with her, right?
No, that's early in the film, and I actually dig that because she's punching Nazis at that point. So not Nazis. Not Nazis. Might as well be.
If they survive in 20 years, they might join the party and be Nazis.
The Kaiser's men. Yeah.
I'm sure I'm so happy I didn't care at that point.
And that brings me to Chuck. Chuck, I liked one of the main things he said was that it holds its own as a superhero movie. It 100% does. It is a timeless film. It does get cheesy in the third act, but I'm okay with that. And Christopher Reeves is soups, 100%. So obviously Todd's out, but sorry, Todd. But I'm gonna have to go with Wonder Woman because it's a solid superhero origin. It even though the last 10 minutes that make Wonder Woman a tough watch, but it doesn't make it unwatchable. It doesn't drag it down. That's where Superman the movie kind of leans into. The last, aside from Christopher Reeve's scream to the heavens to spin the earth back, it doesn't do so great. And one thing no one decided to take down, I personally think Chris Evans hasn't figured out how to play Cap just yet in this movie.
Hard disagree.
He gets better with every movie. Now, this may be because he's in modern times and learning stuff differently. But,
yeah, right. He does live like 50 years over the...
Yeah, he's a little too Boy Scouty for me in the first one.
Yeah. No, he slept through all those decades.
Todd is not going to disagree with or agree with any ribbing on this movie at all whatsoever.
How dare you?
You can just mute him.
For the record, my issue with the end of Wonder Woman is not the quality of the CGI. It's just it's a like story structure thing.
Oh, yeah.
Which they'd found a way for her to realize she can't punch her way out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I felt like that was the lesson they were trying to teach.
Yeah.
That, like, you can't just punch Ares and solve it. But then she punched Ares and solved it.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it really had to do with, like Casey said, like there were certain genre beats they felt they had to hit, and one was fight a larger version of yourself, you know.
I'm looking at you, Ironmonger.
But it's still a terrific movie. They're all four of these are terrific movies. This
was a tough
This
one.
was a good congenial way to start it. We don't have to like really shit on each other here.
That's right. No, you all picked great origin stories. Not as
Yeah,
good as Unbreakable, but
I really knew, and I thought it might be you, Todd. I knew somebody would go with Unbreakable.
I did not. When Todd sent me that, when I got the email, I literally said out loud, "Really?
You loved it when you guys recorded that episode.
Oh, I love Unbreakable. It's a great movie."
I'm a big fan.
it's the greatest super
Argument.
ever.
Todd.
It's the only one I had.
Are we done? Are we done?
Yeah, let Shannon talk. Go.
Why didn't anyone pick Black Panther? I thought for sure.
Because it's the same argument that we've got for Wonder Woman. It's a great movie until it's two CGI characters punching each other in the end.
Actually, my origin would be he becomes Black Panther in the previous film.
Right, and that too. He becomes Black Panther.
He literally becomes the Black Panther in a different
Civil
film.
War. Yeah.
That's fair.
And actually, I think it's a strength of the movie that it doesn't have to do that. Whoa, who's Black Panther? Now I'm Black Panther. And it's literally like, he's Black Panther. Go. You know, like it actually, the fact that it doesn't try to focus on being an origin film is a strength of that movie.
We have a system. We're going to go with it.
Yeah.
I actually thought Todd was pretty freaking brave.
Primogeniture solves so many complications.
Okay, so that was a great round.
Yeah. Oh, I have no idea what's next, by the way. I forgot to write that.
That's okay. I'm going to say the question each time.
The thread that you sent it to us is just utterly clogged with GIFs. So there's no possible way I could find it.
Do we send it an obnoxious amount of gifts?
Oh my God, we are keeping the GIF industry afloat.
Why use words when GIFs say so much more?
And this is where I would put the GIF of someone going, "You're not wrong,"
and what he said.
So we were talking about computer generation.
Yes.
We've all noticed that Disney likes to remake their animated movies from the 90s, and well, let's face it, not do a great job with them.
Hey,
Tell me one that's actually better than the original.
The Jungle Book.
God damn you.
Hands down.
You are right. Okay. That's the only one.
I will slaughter you, man.
Oh, how dare you. Okay. So eventually they're going to run out of Disney movies to remake. So my question that we're going to posit now kind of goes with the CG argument that was happening in the last one. What Pixar movie deserves a live action reboot?
All right. So this was a really hard one for me to answer because, like my brother, I don't like the live action reboots. I don't think that they generally have a reason to exist, and I don't think they're generally artistically successful. Now, that having and most Pixar movies are. Now, I will also say I've probably only seen about a third of Pixar movies. But
You'll get there.
Partially because my viewing of films generally intended to be shared with a family audience has actually dropped off since having a child, because I'm waiting for him to be old enough so that because I watch a lot of family stuff with him, but he's not quite old enough for some of the Pixar stuff. But I have a pitch. I have an idea here. Toy Story, the Broadway musical. And this is why. Like I said, they don't have a reason to exist. There's already a great film. You don't need to remake a great film. You don't remake great films. You remake Ocean's 11 because the first one actually isn't that good, but you make a great film out of it. Most of the Pixar movies, even the ones I haven't seen, I just recognize as being great films. So what are you adding to it? What you're adding is a live theater dimension and more songs, preferably by Mr. Randy Newman, who has written for the stage. He has a brilliant Faust musical. So you put it on stage. You give it the full Julie Taymor, the costumes, you do that. And since the question was what one is getting a live action film remake, we have to assume that eventually, after this thing wins a couple of Tonys and runs for about 5 or 6 years, that it will be filmed and show up on Disney Plus.
That's brilliant. I applaud your creativity, Colin.
Oh no!
Excuse me. I can acknowledge creativity.
You
It
sure
doesn't mean he's
can.
correct. Doesn't mean he's correct, but I can acknowledge that.
He's making notes. That's all.
Yeah, it's on my paper. That's so weird.
Brave is an amazing story. An amazing story featuring a strong female character, which the genre of fantasy adventure sorely lacks. It is ripe to bring Merida into the live-action Disney princess world. A little bit of artful use of CGI as her brothers are transformed into bears. A big Hagrid-like character as her father. The story's practically writing itself. It's the story we need, a story featuring a strong female character in an enchanting way, a beautiful setting in Scotland. Give us Brave live now.
I don't see why it's not obvious to everybody. The only one that humans are in the entire time is The Incredibles. It's a superhero movie. It's the obvious choice. It would fit right in with all of our superhero movies that we currently have. It's Pixar and Disney's first superhero movie, and it's a PG-rated film. It's such a complex Pixar movie that Disney had to actually, Disney executives, when they were coming on the set, actually suggested that they just turn it into a live-action film because all of their shots that they were making were already so complex that they didn't think it would even work as a Pixar animated movie. Yeah, I think that kind of says it all right there. The director kind of approaches the storyboards the same way that you would approach an actual movie. The critics for that film originally noted parallels to The Watchmen, obviously the Fantastic Four, and the Avengers. So with all the other Pixar movies to choose from, I mean, I think The Incredibles is kind of the most packaged vehicle that's sort of ready to go.
I went with Inside Out. I think that it's probably the most lifelike movie. Obviously, you have, I mean, we all know what it's about. You have these, you could not pick a Pixar movie that has better characters than the actual emotions that this little girl has running around in her head. Not to mention the fact that the adult emotions that are going on in mom's head and the adult emotions that are going on in dad's head, which, by the way, as far as I'm concerned, are pretty damn factual. I mean, you basically, you have it both. I think this movie best describes the what's going on in a young girl's head. I don't think any of you go, oh, well, Casey's going to come into having a girl go absolutely batshit crazy here very soon, if she hasn't already reached that point. However, it's fun. I mean, this could be a chapter in the book of what to expect in the first 15 years of your girl being 12. Seriously, it could happen. Everybody has these same emotions. Everybody feels these same things. So it's completely, entirely relatable. It's probably one of the only cartoons that I ever watched that I actually almost cried on. Todd, I'm sure you did. But we're going to move past that. What'd I say? Casey? So
Pixar makes everybody cry. That's their thing.
Well, Todd cried when what's-his-face picked up the hammer. But anyways, I can kind of relate to this personally because when I was in the 5th grade, we literally moved from one city to another. And rather than not being able to play hockey, I couldn't play baseball on the team that I originally played in because it was too far away. So I related to this in quite a number of ways. And the show, I think this is one of those that's actually better for adults than it is for kids, because I think the adults would actually get it better than the kids would. The kids are going to see the emotions as being these funny little characters, but the adults are actually going to pick up on it and be like, yeah, I've seen that happen. And it actually shows you that it's okay to be sad. So on top of it, I've actually got the guys already picked out as to who I would play each character for the emotions. So some of them, should I wait?
No, sorry, I was laughing. Go do it.
No, wait,
No.
wait. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You're fourth. If you've got some casting, go ahead.
All right. So some of them I'm going to leave as they are. Like Mindy Kaling is going to be discussed because she's perfect as discussed. Lewis Black, as far as I'm concerned, is anger. Picture next to the word anger in Webster's dictionary. I'm throwing Melissa McCarthy in as sadness because I've heard her make that voice. It's a perfect voice. And the only reason why I didn't go with the original woman is because she's actually a voice actor. So I went with Melissa McCarthy only because Melissa McCarthy does that voice perfect. I've got Austin Pendleton for Fear. That's the guy that was the
You don't have
public
to tell the
attorney.
musical theater people who Austin Pendleton is.
Oh, he's fantastic. he was Todd. If you don't remember, he was the attorney in My Cousin Vinny. That guy's a tough one. Jury. Anyways, I've got Millie Bobby Brown as Riley. Granted, she's a little older than what she should be. However, I think she fits. I've got Anna Kendrick as Joy, because as far as I'm concerned, Joy is Anna Kendrick.
You son of a bitch.
Objection.
Yeah,
working the refs.
objection. Clearly pandering to the referee.
Well, let's see.
Oh, sorry. I got distracted. Someone said Anna Kendrick.
Yeah. Well, it's not like I picked Batman.
And
Then you got
Batman as anger.
I got Zoe Saldana as mom, and I've got Henry Cavill as dad, and I think that was it.
Wow.
Well, dad likes hockey. Henry Cavill's got a mullet
That's
in
ridiculous.
some of his stuff.
Wait, is
So-
it Henry? Did you choose Henry Cavill because he can rock a serious mustache?
Well, he can do a great mustache, as we've seen. He wasn't even allowed to shave it. But,
Uh-oh.
What the fuck?
Turn around, Chuck.
Things are happening.
The
Great
best.
things are happening.
The best. Wait, the best is I know that your daughter's not there, so I know that there can only be one person in that Darth Vader.
Yeah, this is what happens when you're working from home since March and you literally can't leave a 3-mile radius of your house.
Can she please just sit there the rest of the time?
She'll probably be back.
Oh, she's dancing.
Is Melissa aware that this is a video episode, not audio only?
She's aware that this is going to be on YouTube. Yes.
Why do you think she put on the Darth Vader costume?
Yeah. So I've lost my train of thought. I don't even know where I went. I don't even know if I gave you all my characters.
I think your train of thought blew up at all.
I think your best character is behind you, Chuck.
Gloves in the Darth Vader house.
Wait, we can't miss Colin's great joke. Colin, go ahead, say that again.
Your train of thought blew up on the way to Alderaan.
Well played.
All right, you four. Go ahead, fight it out. Go.
I have the same objection to all three of your films. You spent all your time talking about how these are perfect films and how they star humans.
Oh,
So why are we remaking them with humans?
Well, the emotions aren't
No,
humans.
There's no, yeah, but you said that they're very
They're
realistic
anthropomorphic.
looking. They're anthropomorphized.
Come on. Anger is a short little eraser guy.
Yeah, but
You don't get to argue this, Colin. You have
What?
no legs to stand on.
why?
Because you don't even know half of the films.
I've seen every one of these films.
Yeah, but you want to make yours a musical.
I've seen every one of these. Yes.
Yeah,
because
I
then it
feel
has
like
a-
you
then
speak
there is a reason to
all
remake
time.
it. Also, if I may, I don't think Toy Story is perfect. I don't think it's as good as some of its sequels. I think there are flaws in the first film. I think that the characters are really unkind to each other in a way that
Sounds
makes
like
the-
a horrible movie to do a live action then.
No,
I agree.
it's the kind of film that you can.
Nobody wants to see a Randy.
You don't make. I'm not talking. I don't want Gus Van Sant's Psycho. I don't want shot for shot remake. I want somebody to go back in and tinker and fix and change and expand. Maybe we meet Jesse and some of the characters we love from the second film. Because musicals tend to be longer
But
than
I think
films.
the magic of
musical.
so I think it's a delicate line to walk. The magic of Toy Story and Inside Out is that they are not people, and they're better that way. On the flip side, I think The Incredibles gains nothing by doing live action because essentially it was the closest to a live action Pixar movie we've ever had.
Except Brave.
What did you pick?
Well,
Except Brave, which stars absolutely nothing but humans and other large mammals.
Yeah.
Except for her brothers who are transformed into bears, which gives the little bit of whimsy to make it just enough to meld the worlds like Pete's Dragon.
Todd, are you telling me I'll finally be able to see a live action bear?
That's right. No,
It's never
the
appeared
bears
on
will be
film before.
CGI. No, the brothers as bears will be CGI. It'll be the perfect mix.
And why
There's no reason to remake films you think are already perfect that star mostly human-looking things. There's
No.
just no reason. Whereas if you do something different, if you add something,
the movie payers.
if you have a
But then what do you
reason
do
to
with all of these great non-human characters?
you
There's
put
so many of them in Toy Story. What do you do with them?
Todd? If
So
you've
half your
seen-
movie CGI.
I would refer you to The Lion King, the stage musical, and Beauty and the Beast, the stage musical.
Completely different. Completely different.
I think you've
Really?
answered the question of the one that should
Why is it-
best be adapted.
Why is it completely different?
Go ahead, Chuck.
Hang on. Chuck's gonna explode. Let him go.
Oh no, Shannon's already tried to say something like 6 times, but because she's using a computer that went up to the moon with the Apollo 13, she's getting cut out. But I'll jump in here real fast. So essentially, Shannon basically wants to remake the Avengers out of the Incredibles because we've already got the Incredibles in just about every live action movie you could possibly see, to include on television. DC and all that other stuff. So, okay, let's remake the Marvels. Colin wants to make Disney on Ice, and Todd is brave. Well, I mean, kind of like the Jungle Book
Brave.
with the Scottish girl. But I don't know. I mean, look at the character. Look at the character. Just the characters alone in my movie is what does it. It trumps all of it. It trumps all of it.
These are all arguments about why they're good movies, not arguments about why you should remake them.
It's
None of these
none
are
of them should
arguments
be.
about
Let's
why
make.
you should remake them.
None of these movies should be remade at all, period. However, if you're going to remake one and actually make it live action, make something that's actually going to be really good. I mean, having this type of cast from Inside Out with the people that I mentioned, it's perfect. It works perfect. Theory, I'm not talking to you.
Excuse me, Mr. Speaker.
Sorry.
Point of personal privilege. I believe I was attacked during one of the other answers. I'd like to respond to that.
I think you were believe attacked during most of them.
I'm choosing to acknowledge
Proceed.
one of them. Was that Chuck who mentioned that I cried when Cap lifted his hammer?
Pretty much, yeah.
I believe that was Chuck.
Didn't
I
you?
would like to point out, how dare you, sir? I cried when Cap jumped on the dummy grenade. So
It's
please,
true. I've seen it happen in real life.
Let's
that's a
be
big part.
correct.
But you're saying it like it's wrong, like the audacity that you would say such a thing. It's the truth. It's not like I'm lying. I mean, how can you be upset about me telling?
If the gentleman from New Hampshire will yield his time.
Look, I just had to listen to you and Colin yell for the past 20 minutes while Shannon and I were like, "Please, sir, can I have some more?"
All right. Hey.
Where's that?
So wait.
Oh.
I calm down. Calm down a bit.
Listen,
Shannon? Who would you cast as Mr. Incredible?
I don't know. I didn't think that far ahead. It's not fair that Chuck did that, and then you're going to penalize all of us.
Oh, why? Because I thought I actually answered the question as asked.
I had to work.
I didn't hear that.
I know because I muted her because she was being sassy.
Saucy.
Okay. Colin, who would you cast as Woody?
Cheyenne Jackson.
That's good.
No,
Yes, it is.
no.
That's real good.
Yes, it is.
Cheyenne Jackson, for anyone who doesn't know, it was in the Descendants 3 as Hades, which maybe Chuck or maybe Todd watched. No.
I
30 Rock.
no reason.
Lots and
He was
lots
on
and
30
lots
Rock.
of
He was a
Broadway.
Canadian guy that didn't understand sarcasm.
As Tom Hanks?
No, as
Tom
Woody.
Hanks.
That's
As
my
Woody,
point.
not as Tom
He doesn't
Hanks.
do Tom Hanks. We start over and reinvestigate who Woody is. We don't recreate unthinkingly. We do something new.
I don't think you understand Disney at all.
This is not my pitch to Disney.
It's pitched to Pixar.
This is my but it's also not.
Not sure how much clearer I can be to you guys every time we go through this. Disney is Pixar. Pixar is Disney.
Yeah, that's true.
They
Oh,
are.
But my point is, I'm not arguing why Disney would want to do it. Though I do think that they will definitely turn some Pixar movie into a live action musical someday. That
Sure.
will definitely happen, and it might as well be Toy Story.
It won't be
Why not Toy Story?
because it doesn't make any sense. how would you do it? And like, and I agree that
The Little Mermaid was it's all underwater and it was on stage.
mm,
But it was also already a musical, so it worked.
right.
But I think Shannon's argument, if I'm right, is how do you make the little toys be with the big humans, right?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. And
You-
Didn't they already do
they
that
solved
with
that
Honey, I
problem in
Shrunk the Kids?
1987 when they did the giant in you know.
Woods.
You're
Yeah.
playing the game right anyway, Colin. So you're already out.
I'm not. Why am I not
Whoa,
playing the game right?
whoa! Everyone, shut up.
You can't go right to a musical and then
No,
to
Shannon, that includes you. When I say everyone, I mean everyone.
Beautiful.
Colin and I talked about this extensively because he initially just came to me with Toy Story, and then he's like, "What if it was a musical?" And then I said, and my caveat was, "Make it a Disney Plus movie eventually, like Hamill film, and I'll take that answer."
So you workshopped the answer ahead of the debate?
I didn't workshop that answer with you because I'm pretty sure I did. So why don't you calm down?
Well, you rejected my.
I also have terrible news for you if you don't like answers that come in from a sideways angle. Terrible news for you.
Oh, it's just gonna get worse.
Yes, it really is.
we go with that.
All right.
It still isn't going to work.
Shannon, give me more than it's not going to work and that he's wrong.
I think it's precisely what you said. I mean, it's not going to look much different than people in costumes walking around the stage, or you're going to have to do puppetry so that they're small and then the adults are big, or vice versa. It's going to end up looking like, I don't know if you've seen like the really, really sweet little Finding Nemo musical that's at Animal Kingdom, which is darling and has far better music.
Yes, which is amazing because you're seeing it live in front of you. As a stage production, I agree 100%. But once you translate that to a movie, whether it was filmed initially as a film, or you're filming the staging, it loses that magic.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm already seeing it. You're right. Puppets. So they're whenever the people are there are actors and they are small puppets, maybe Bunraku, and
Ooh.
but you have this transition that happens whenever the people leave the room, which is when they come to life, and we it's almost like the equivalent of a Zoom, and we come in and suddenly we have full-size actors. That, I mean, the
I feel
magic,
like we saw that
the millions of dollars they would throw on Broadway to make that look amazing, and it would. All I come back to is it has a reason to exist, and none of the others do.
I'd still rather see either one of the other two movies, and I still think The Incredibles would beat both of them. Brave is not popular enough, and there's a reason that it disappeared from everybody's like memory really quick, because not unlike Princess and the Frog, one of the other lead characters spends most of the time as a bear. And so it's not incredibly fun, though the front half of the movie is a riot. And God, Inside Out is one of the most amazing movies ever. And you're right, the adults love it more than the kids. Man, it's really good. I just don't see how, I don't see how they're gonna make the little people in her head as live action, as humans, and then also make the human characters human. I don't see how that's going to work. Again,
Well, they won't be. They'll be. I'm backing you up here. They won't be. They'll just be better rendered CGI. It'll be the Lion King all over again. It won't actually be live action.
It's such a thin line. You need enough humanity and enough magic in it to make the difference.
I feel like Todd knows he's
like
lost,
Brave.
and he's just
Like Brave.
Brave is not a bad
Spoiler.
like Brave is.
Spoil.
I think that Brave is doable. I don't think that anyone's going to watch it. I figured you guys would pick WALL-E. I thought somebody would pick WALL-E. I thought somebody would pick Up.
WALL-E is a fantastic movie. I love WALL-E.
It's probably doable.
But Inside Out was
I
better.
think you would run into a problem with WALL-E of trying to cast people or then CGI render people to be the humans in chairs. It would get a little offensive to people.
Possibly, yep.
Todd.
Is it too late to change my answer to WALL-E?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Point of order. Okay,
But-
thank
but-
you.
Someone
we already
already
have
tried to
arguments
change
against
their
it.
answer today.
Yeah, so see, Incredibles still holds up because it's the only one that makes any sense to do as a live action version.
But it's
Because then
already
you can
been
finally
done.
see people. I mean,
it's already been done.
I was just trying to think of which one is going to make the most sense and is
But
the
it-
package
But
deal.
nothing is added by making it live action, though. It's
You're
but
just
nothing is
making
added to
Avengers
nothing is
into
added to
different
Brave by
costume.
making it live action. What is
Brave,
added to
Brave
Brave by
gets
making
Brave
it? It's
gets
the
its
most
second,
photorealistic Pixar film.
Brave gets its second shot at greatness with a live action remake.
I thought it was great the first time. I love that.
I
movie.
did too.
Agree,
I
but
thought it was
underappreciated.
The
And I
first
feel
it's great. The
live action is
shit.
I actually think you might be onto something there, Todd. But they chose to make a CGI cartoon instead. They probably should have made a live action movie.
which is
should- it
why
should have
a
been
live action remake is the perfect opportunity to correct its mistakes from the original.
No do overs.
I think that they failed so badly with Lion King as far as their animal stuff goes. I mean, if they went back to Jungle Book level animals, which clearly you guys have not bothered to watch, I highly recommend.
I've seen it. How dare you?
Seen it?
Thank you. Okay, then why do you
I
know
haven't.
how good their live action stuff is?
Well, you.
Yeah, King Louis is pretty photorealistic. It's creepy.
It's super creepy.
It's walking, right?
So,
Oh, it's walking all right.
Yeah.
I think that they are suffering from a need to like rush everything out as fast as they possibly can. Like, I don't understand. That's my issue with Disney in general. Otherwise, I think it would be fantastic.
Okay. We're going to call it. That's on that one. Okay. So, Chuck. Hey, buddy.
Hi.
This is hands down one of my favorite Pixar movies of all time. There are 3 separate times in this movie I cry. Bing Bong, I just want Riley to be happy, and when Riley admits to them that she is sad and broken.
Mhm.
It hits me really hard. I'm having trouble talking about it right now.
I know.
So I'm going to move on.
Don't cry.
You
There's
son of a
camera.
bitch!
Don't
How
cry.
dare
There's
you
a
bring
camera.
up Bing Bong?
I can't.
Honestly,
Bing bong, bing
of the three, Bing Bong hits me the least.
What?
Oh, when Joy
You
grabs the
monster.
ball. Oh, okay. But
I
that
can't.
being said, I don't want a live action remake of it because it's a perfect movie.
Shannon's cry. Everybody's gonna cry.
It's so good. Okay. Shannon,
Don't even. Yes, go ahead.
same thing with you. The Incredibles is a perfect movie. I don't need a remake of it.
I wish-
don't.
Freaking Wally.
I don't. I know you. And if you'd brought up Wally, there would have been some hits there because there already is live action people in it. Fred Willard, may he rest in peace.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He's the president of By and Large.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, he's on the TV.
Yep.
Also, didn't they already do live action Wally with Short Circuit?
I know. He looks so.
Oh,
Yeah, no one brought that
Number
up.
5
That-
is alive.
By the way,
None
going
soup?
back to Austin Pendleton, that is where I know Austin Pendleton from, and also the time I rode the subway with him and got to talk to him. That's a story for another time.
Humble brag.
It's
You got-
it's
you
not
got-
humble at all. I am full on bragging that I met Austin Pendleton.
Sorry, who is he again?
He is.
one-
You've seen
He's the
Short
original
Circuit.
model the Taylor.
Yes, he is. Did you ever
My
see
cousin Vinny?
My Cousin Vinny or Short Circuit?
Yeah.
He's the guy who runs Nova. Guy who's constantly yelling "stat" at people, and everyone's like, "What does that mean?" I don't know.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
He was the public defender next to Joe Pesci in
Oh. I
And
think
he's also Gurgle in Finding Nemo.
Yes, he is.
He's the germophobic fish.
Yeah.
yes. Okay, got it.
Okay. Todd, I know you love Scotland. I love Scotland. It is of my people.
Give it to me, you son of a bitch.
But it is just humans already. Like,
What about the Bears?
It would be gorgeous.
well, you know what also was a point against you? You were like, oh, her 3 brothers are bears. How adorable. Her mom's a bear for a third of the movie.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, that too.
And also, Yes, and I was doing improv. Yes, and
Okay. So that being said, also
I'm
the thing that
organic.
Colin kept coming back to that knocked all of you out. Nobody wants to see a live action reboot of any of these movies. And no one really took against the fact that Colin was improving on the meanness of Woody. Like, and you know who we can thank for all those mean comments that Woody makes in Toy Story 1? Joss Whedon.
Listen, don't be throwing any Marvel hate at into this.
Was that Marvel hate?
No,
Or?
I believe that was DC hate.
No,
That
it was more
that was
bully
hate at Joss
directors hate.
Whedon's DC
Self-loathing.
work.
Wait,
No. It was bully directors hate. I don't like directors that are bullies to their actors. So
Alleged.
okay. So that being said, Colin, you win this round.
I cannot believe there's going to be a Randy Newman musical. I'm going to freaking kill myself.
Wait a minute. Hang on. This doesn't mean that it's going to happen.
No,
Boy,
wait,
that
wait.
escalated.
I really hope that they manage to also get Lyle Lovett. That is my favorite part. Is that Randy Newman and Lyle Lovett sing over the credits of that movie?
Oh,
It sure do.
It's such wonderful
Musical,
goodness.
huh? A music.
Okay, so we spent a lot of time talking CGI during this, right?
yeah.
So let's delve into what is the most jarring use of CGI. Colin, you can go ahead and go first.
This was a simple one for me. There's good CGI and there's bad CGI, and sometimes you don't mind bad CGI, and sometimes you're bothered by good CGI. It's sometimes quality is less important than context and intention. And for me, the appearance of the late Peter Cushing in Rogue One, too much. I'm too distracted by the fact that I'm watching a brilliant dead man for long stretches of the film. It's not poorly done, though it doesn't quite escape the uncanny valley. But it's just, I start thinking about, did like his oldest son approve it, but his middle kid really thinks it's creepy, but somebody needed the money. You know, it takes me out of the film, and I would have preferred either writing around it, which would have been the best choice, or even a recast. I think it's not to me, it doesn't come down to what's the worst CGI. It's just, this is CGI that shouldn't be there. The Leia sequence in the same film, to a lesser extent.
Yeah. So in a movie, boy, if you don't have, you've got talent, you've got story, you've got special effects when we think about the movies in this genre. And boy, so close. If you don't have, you can sometimes squeak by without one of the three if the other two are really solid. But in X-Men Origins, we are treated to a dumpster fire of a story. Great talent. However, when we see his claws in the farmhouse, when he escapes Project X, the claws are so ridiculously cartoonish that I literally laughed out loud. It was a moment that took me entirely out of the film. And the worst part is the film isn't necessarily bad at that point. But boy, that's sure a sign of things to come.
That's the fall off the cliff.
Show. Yep, absolutely.
Charles.
And I see the remainder of my time.
Charles, that's your turn.
I went with, and I'm kind of almost embarrassed that I'm using this movie, but I went with Renesmee from Twilight Breaking Dawn 1 and 2. As you guys know, I live in a house of women, and these movies came out when the littlest woman thought that these were the best movies on the planet, and my wife actually read all the books. But so for two movies, they basically took Mackenzie Foy's face and superimposed it on a baby, and then on, I believe, 9 different girls until she actually reached the age that Mackenzie Foy was in the second movie. So she literally looks like, it looks worse than Henry Cavill's upper lip in Justice League. It's horrendous. The werewolves look more real. What's his face? The guy that was in Tron. He looked more real in Tron Legacy. Jeff Bridges. Jeff Bridges looked more real in Tron Legacy. But now, mind you, the basis of this movie, because she's a half-breed, she's supposed to legitimately age until like her mid-20s in the manner of like a couple of very short, quick years. However, her face looks exactly the same for like 11 of them because they use one girl's face, and it's horrendous. It actually looks like it's floating over the face of the kid that's behind it.
Wow.
That's what I got. My doodle drawings actually look better than that.
And I'm sorry, Shannon, you were supposed to go next. I missed the order. Shannon, you go ahead.
Yeah, so I think that this is the first time that I like noticed CGI or the badness of it, and it's the troll in the bathroom sequence in the first Harry Potter movie.
Oh, Darth Vader's back.
Yeah, she brought me another beer.
Nice.
It's the helmet.
Say what you want about Darth Vader.
He may be a space fascist, but he
Good
brings good
host.
beer.
That's right.
For those viewing at home, this is a Maltza peach.
Ooh.
Yeah, when malt meets seltzer. That's what
Sounds girly,
that's
like
with
your
an-
pick for this.
with an
question.
AH.
Whoa. Easy there, Todd, Michael Panic.
Yeah, hey.
I know what he's talking about. It's not. It's not.
No.
But the real important thing here is
Casey,
we've
mute the
interrupted
patriarchy.
Shannon.
Mute the patriarchy.
All right.
The patriarch, he's muted himself. I'm sorry, Shannon. Go ahead.
So we'd all, I think, just gotten done watching like the Lord of the Rings, like the first Lord of the Rings movie, and it was gorgeous with a couple of minor exceptions. And then there's and for the most part, the first Harry Potter movie was going pretty well until like this troll walks into the bathroom and Harry Potter like jumps on his head and tries to like stab him in the nose with his magic wand, and the troll's like flopping him all over the place, and it looks like Harry Potter no longer is a person anymore. It's like he's this rubber doll, and he's like flip-flopping back and forth, and he became like half Muppet and like half, I don't know if it was I mean, I assume it was like CGI, but he's floppy and he's like rubbery and he's like flip, 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 he's like flipping back and forth. It is dreadful. And like I said, I think like the whole world had just gotten done watching the fields and the mountainsides and everything in Lord of the Rings, and then we all watched
And a troll.
like there's a troll in the bathroom.
A cave troll.
I really wanted to let you finish, but I do have to say, when you were like, a troll walks into a bathroom and he stabs him with his wand and he's flopping all over the place, I just wanted to say, are we no longer doing phrasing?
Hey, why? Was that funny?
It just sounded like you were describing, an adult act.
Phrasing.
Like eating blue cheese. Wait, no.
Oh. Okay. All right, let's find it out.
This is another one where just I came at it from a different angle. So either Casey's going to agree that there's just something extra about the presence of a dead guy, though Todd's comes pretty close. Like it's a weird, like you stop, it takes you out and you stop and think, not just, oh, they didn't spend enough money on CGI, but
but
what are we violating someone's soul as we do this?
I remember seeing that moment, though, the same moment you're talking about, Colin, and I had the opposite reaction, and I didn't know until later that so many people had an unpleasant reaction. I was just like, ooh, and the same thing with Leia. I was like, ooh.
I also, the Leia thing, because she was still alive when the decision was made and was able to give her consent, bothers me less.
Yeah.
Peter Cushing died in the 80s, for Christ's sake, and had a long and distinguished carear. And just
are you suggesting there was no deathbed conversation
about being
securing consent? Yes.
And I also from a what hath we wrought sort of perspective. There was a Variety notice about 6 months ago about how James Dean will be starring in a new film, and It just no, that's wrong.
Yeah, but I think we all universally condemn you for your choice of movies with your answer there. So
I'm sorry. What was that, Howard the Duck? Could you speak a little louder?
I'm sorry. That was so last year. That was so last year.
I don't know what that has to do with anything.
You won that question last year, didn't you?
No, I don't think. Yeah, he did.
He did?
Yeah, he did.
Somehow that happened, but you just won with
Yeah.
a musical
He was
too.
right.
Yeah. Well, basically, my argument is you can shit all over my movie choice if you will. It does not take away from the fact that it was horrible CGI. They essentially had 9 girls act with somebody else's face. So why not give the respect? Why not do what other movies do and have girls that look kind of like the girl grow into the girl that she actually grows into, as opposed to just taking this girl's face and putting it on somebody else's?
That's true, but you haven't read the book, and I have, sadly.
Why do we assume that Chuck hasn't read the book? He might have.
I'm gonna assume.
Because I said a couple minutes ago I didn't read the book.
Okay, that's right.
Oh, some of us listen. I'm not sure how things.
Wow.
That was a turning
Get a little
champion.
wine in Shannon, and she gets real feisty.
Oh, I thought for a second you were like, maybe he did the audiobook, and then I realized what you were saying.
It is a weird. I don't know how. I'm not sure how they would have done it. I mean, obviously they should have done a much better job than what they did. I've seen what he's talking about, and it's creepy. But it should be. It should be creepy.
Fair point.
I don't know what else they. I don't know what else they would have done. I mean, I know I've heard it complained about on regularly, but the whole movie is complained about regularly. It's bad.
We're talking about Breaking Dawn. That right? Are we?
Yeah.
Is that what we're in? Okay.
She's predominantly in part 2.
Worse and worse and worse. They're dreadful, but yeah, it's horrifying what he's talking about. It's pretty bad. I don't know what else they would have done. Like the description in the book is unusual. Like what happens to this girl as she grows up very fast, and she's supposed to be pretty much is super intelligent as a baby. I don't know what they would have done. It's bad. And Todd, I get it, but I don't. It's just one little tiny part of a movie.
But it is the jumping off point, though. Up until that point in the movie is still viable. I do feel like that's a turning point in the movie where up until the point we're like, oh, well, it's not exactly what okay, all right, great. We're still going with it. But it goes downhill quickly.
I wonder if I get any points for the fact that mine is in the best of the 4 films. And thereby drags down
I will give you that.
Drags down good art where all of you have movies that, and I mean, the first Harry Potter is not a bad film, but it's the weakest of all of them.
Oh, I would listen, I mean, I don't know if that's the case because I don't think so, but a lot of people don't think so.
Yeah, but
a lot of people think that the 4th one is the one.
But I also think that there are a lot more Star Trek nerds out there that thought that the homage that was paid to that active.
No, let him talk. Let him talk. Give him rope.
I'm sorry, Star Wars. I apologize.
Same thing.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Wow. What?
Listen, you've had a couple.
Anyways, I think there were a lot of guys that actually thought that was great homage that they paid to him by having him in the movie.
I know. Anytime that you see something like that, I was so excited when I saw like the Darth Vader sequence at the end, and I thought it was amazing. And a lot of people really hate Rogue One, and I
like Rogue One.
Oh, I think
I just
Rogue
like
One.
those parts.
Rogue One is not bad.
I think it's great, and but some people really hate it.
Those people are wrong.
I know, but I think it's for what Colin is saying, and I was really surprised. I was surprised. When I saw his reflection in the window, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I was too. My initial reaction was, oh, wow, they did a good job with him. Even though it was very easy to see that you knew he was dead.
Yeah.
Wait, he is?
But you have to like willfully choose to ignore that, right?
Well,
yeah. That's my whole point. It takes you out in a way that's a different level of being taken out of a film than going, oh, they didn't spend quite enough time on those pixels.
Well, and they also admitted too that for Wolverine they ran out of money. Which you could tell too in the helicopter chase scene with the motorcycle.
All the money went to the hair gel budget.
Obviously, and to the workout regimen, and probably that cheese ball vegan diet that he went to.
Someone here a vegan?
Oh, why is there a vegan involved in this?
I don't think so.
No.
Does he fly planes?
Oh.
No. Chuck's not a vegan.
Oh.
No.
He just eats like one?
No. Jesus.
No, he does not. I
No.
tried.
Nice.
But no. I mean, yeah, I don't remember. I remember watching Harry Potter, but I don't remember thinking that the CGI for that at that time was that bad. Looking at it now, does it hold water?
Thing
It's pretty bad.
it wasn't. Well, I mean, yeah, for most of the.
Back then, that's what I mean. Now it doesn't hold water. I
No.
mean, but
I guess what I'm saying is, like, in the same year, we got The Lord of the Rings, which I'm pretty sure in a couple of tiny moments there's some weird spots, but for the most part, it's freaking gorgeous. And
You have to tell Chuck what that is.
what's that?
yeah, that's right. You don't know.
Lord
No,
of the
what?
Rings.
Lord of the
I've seen
Rings.
Lord of the Rings. I just watched them 20 years ago when they originally came out, when they were on VHS. I had to watch 3 of them because they were so fucking long. It was like, hold on, let me change cassettes. I'll be right back.
I mean, he asked for a jarring moment, and like, I mean, Colin is saying that it was jarring for him because it took him out of the movie because he was, you know, it was bothering him and for the rest of us, it was in a good way. But this for me was like, what is, there's a Muppet on top of that. No, looks like
They should have just used the Muppet. That would have been better.
I think he might have, you know,
As a matter of fact, I think they did use one for the Muppets. He was part of the band.
bend there, like rubber. You know, the part where he like loses his bones and like
Oh yeah.
that's what it looked like on top of the troll. And they moved the camera really fast. And it just
Always a sign that things are going well.
yeah.
See all Michael Bay films.
Yes.
Right.
No, thank you.
Like
Yeah.
they just went very wrong in that scene, and the rest of the movie just doesn't look like that.
Okay. This is a tough one. Let me tell you why. I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. This is not an order of who wins it. Colin. Rogue One is the best of the new movies. It is, and the CGI in it is beautiful. Down to when they're putting the dish into the Death Star, the detail there is fucking bonkers. And like everyone here said, when you see Tarkin's reflection in the mirror or in the window looking out at the Death Star, you're like, holy shit, that's Peter Cushing. And then he turns around and you're like, kill it with fire. It's rough. It's rough. Todd, yes, Wolverine's claws are abysmal. But let me tell you something. So is X-Men Origins Wolverine. So it's all bad. It's just there's nothing good in that movie. Chuck, I didn't realize that they continued it beyond the baby. I've seen footage of the baby with the CGI face, and it's horrifying. For it to continue onto other children, that's pretty horrifying. But again, as Shannon and Todd nodded to, but didn't say anything about, it's also a bad movie. So that took you down a little bit. And Shannon, I need you and Colin to argue a little more. It's between the two of you.
Colin, though. I think the
Well, okay, they're gone.
Good storming, everybody.
that's right.
Oh,
If you don't know what's going on, go watch it on YouTube instead of listening to the podcast.
Chuck, did you turn off your light again?
Oh yeah, I left.
Such a
Good man. All right, so
I just think it comes down to the fact that I didn't realize would not have thought that it would bother people. I think it's really lovely tribute. If it bugs his family, I'm sorry. I just think it's really pretty. I get what you're saying. If it takes you out of the rest of the film, okay, but
As a member of SAG-AFTRA, I don't think anybody dead should be allowed to perform in films unless all of the back dues have been paid. And as far as I know, that troll is all paid up.
oh Oh, you son of a bitch.
Do you know for certain that his family was not notified? Like, I don't know.
Oh no, they had to be. They absolutely had to be. But what I'm because they must have a likeness rights. That's how that thing works. But what if there could be, one son thinks yes, we should do that, and one says no, we can put him on T-shirts. They can make a figurine, but we're not doing that. And there's an argument. These are the kind of things that go through your head. It's just there's something wrong about it.
You spent the rest of the movie thinking that?
No. Just the whole time he was on screen. And I just think it's wrong. It bothers me to it's like wrong on a there's a creep in it. It's grave robbing.
That's a lot to have in your head for the very pleasant amount of time that
he's in a lot of that movie. He's got at least 5 minutes of screen time.
Okay, but it's a great 5 minutes. I mean, as Casey said, it's
yes. The person they hired to wear the digital Peter Cushing mask is pretty good.
Dude.
But that is literally what is happening right there. It could be Andy Serkis. We don't know.
Reflection, and then you see him and we're like, holy crap. And then that whole ending comes up and you see Darth Vader coming down from a totally different angle. And then the next thing we're going to see is Leia. We were all excited. And you spent that 5 minutes being upset? You feel bad?
I was like, I knew it was coming. It wasn't like surprising to me.
The rest of us
I was upset that when they're like, yes, Peter Cushing and Grand Moff Tarkin are in this film. I was like,
I feel like, you were thinking about.
It reminded me of that Monty Python skit. He's been dead for 10 years.
You're putting way too much thought into this. I mean, even with the Harry Potter thing, I was like, oh my God.
I thought that was the point of The Exorcist. I thought that was the raison d'etre.
No, but like you could have picked something else. I just feel like
I could have, but I might win with this one. So
no, I don't think so. I think it's just way. I just think it's a really kind of a fun, pretty moment, and I think you're. I think you got too much weight on something that's not really that bad.
I agree, Shannon.
Well, good for you, Chuck.
I mean, Harry Potter.
Those who have been sent out to Thunderdome shall be quiet.
All right, stop.
All right.
It's Tarkin. It's so weird. I'm
just saying.
Yes, Shannon, I agree. The troll in the bathroom is weird, but so is when Neville is being flopped around on his broom, when he loses control of his broom. It's just shitty CGI at the time. That's the problem there. Everything else, including what's the Imperial droid's call number? IG-88? No, not
IG-88's a bounty hunter.
Yeah, the Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk is
K2SO.
Yes, K2SO.
Yeah, K2SO. I mean, I'm like, oh, they built a robot and he's walking around and slapping Diego Luna in the face.
He sounds like Alan Tudyk.
He sounds like Alan Tudyk. But when Tarkin is on screen, every time I was taken out. Everything else in that movie is beautiful and the CGI is amazing. And then it's like they forgot they had to do that and rushed the rendering at the end. Like they're like, oh shit, we didn't change this guy's face. So it's Tarkin.
So how many is that now for Colin? Is that 3?
That's two. That's 2. Because we are at the halfway point. So
that's right. 2.
We're going to take a bio break.
Yes,
and while we do that, let's hear from the other wonderful programs on the Night Shift Radio Network.
You're listening to a Night Shift Radio production. Night Shift Radio is a modern media company bringing you shows that entertain, inform, and most importantly, provide an escape. Never Heard of It dives into the world of bad, obscure, and sometimes just weird movies. Follow along with the crew of Set Condition 1 as they experience the 2004 sci-fi hit Battlestar Galactica, one episode at a time. Each week on Left of the Dial, we explore a new record or revisit an old favorite. We'll bring in guests to talk about their own music and the state of the industry. The Superpod HeroCast, guys with beers talking about movies with capes. They draw a random comic-inspired movie from Thor's helmet and offer thorough, insightful, and humorous commentary. And once a month, tune into the Storyteller series and get lost in the magic of a good old-fashioned radio drama. Learn more about these fine shows at nightshiftradio.com and subscribe on your favorite platform.
And we're back. And some of us have changed shirts and some of us have changed locations.
Don't go changing
What?
your shirt.
Or both.
Did you change your shirt?
Oh, that's a good
Captain
shirt.
Marvel.
Nice.
You can't tell though, because I'm.
Well, you can't see what I'm wearing, but I've got.
I still can't see it.
Oh, the Nostromo. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you can't see that I'm wearing nothing below the shirt. So.
Oh, I'm Donald ducking it full on right now.
We all assume.
That's
Yeah.
right. Okay, good. Good. You know me.
Okay. So we're back from break. Let's dive right back into it. I have no segue for this, so let's just go. Who is your dream superhero movie director?
Akira Kurosawa.
Quentin Tarantino.
Catherine Bigelow.
Steven Spielberg.
I'm
All
sorry.
right.
I'm not familiar with that director. Who was that?
Okay. Go ahead, guys. There's nothing else to do. Just write it out.
Spielberg's automatically out. I mean, he's shit on this. He's shit on the genre. Like, so.
Oh, he like
What?
spoke
Yeah.
shit on the genre.
Yes.
He's not a fan. But I also feel like so much of his work is superhero adjacent that I don't know what you get. You would. I mean, he doesn't really make bad movies unless you maybe count 1941. But I don't know that you get a revelation or a change or something new and exciting.
Listen,
you know,
superheroes
in
are
the genre
the
of superhero.
superheroes are the American mythology. You've got to
Indiana
love
Jones,
that. He doesn't.
E.T., Close Encounters, Lincoln, Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan, Jurassic Park, Duel. He actually made a bad guy out of a truck, and Jaws. He made a fucking animatronic shark. The most, literally, I'm not done, the scariest friggin' thing to the point where people still don't want to swim. Are you telling me that this motherfucker couldn't make Superman absolutely iconic more so than he is?
There's Chuck.
I'm just,
Yeah, there's the Chuck we all know and love.
Please. He's got 3 Oscars. He's got 17 nominations. 13 of his actors and or actresses have been nominated for the big 4 Oscars. His films have been nominated for 130 Oscars. Do not tell me that he could not make a Superman movie, a superhero movie. I don't care. No,
I mean,
I'm done. I'm not even listening to the arguments.
but does he?
He could, but I don't know why he
He might.
would.
I guess if it's a dream, I understand. If it's just a dream, but if he doesn't want to, and the shark, I hate. Oh God, I don't want to say it too because I know how mad you're going to get. But the shark was an accident.
That's right.
But also we know what it looks like when Steven Spielberg makes a movie because somebody thinks he ought to and because it might make some money and it's not something he really has his heart in, and it's called Ready Player One.
Ooh, ouch.
Ooh.
And it
Ouch.
doesn't end well.
That's a death blow. Yeah.
Princess.
That's a death
You know,
blow.
he
I haven't
he
seen it.
should make movies he's passionate about, and he's not passionate about this genre, so he shouldn't make it.
And, Akira Kurosawa, all the respect.
Sorry,
We
I don't mean to be rude, but who is who?
Akira
Seven
Kurosawa.
Samurai, Yojimbo, Ikiru, Throne of Blood, Ron.
we
The
don't
Hidden
have
Fortress,
Star Wars.
Rashomon.
Without Kurosawa.
He's,
No. Any of
he's arguably the greatest director Japan has ever produced.
Okay.
Agree
Um,
100%, but not for superhero movies. And
Why
Catherine
not?
Bigelow, I mean,
no, Catherine Bigelow
Fabulous.
should definitely make superhero movies.
she should make more of them. But Dream, no, because I already had that. That's reality, not a dream. Tarantino, give me Tarantino directing the Moon Knight movie. Oh, yeah.
Tarantino,
Off fans, you go ahead.
misanthropy and superhero movies are a bad mix.
Moon Knight?
And
Punisher? Give me a Punisher movie.
And as is gleeful sadism and a contempt for human life.
Yeah.
These are all
Again?
the hallmarks of Tarantino, and I do not need to see somebody dropping N-bombs every 3 minutes.
Nope.
Right. And didn't we
So
already,
I would point out
Or-
that
didn't we
or
already have a
fetishizing feet, so I
Tarantino
take that first.
superhero movie with Kill Bill?
Kill Bill?
I mean, can't you
it
consider
was
that?
great.
It's pretty
It was
close,
great.
yeah.
That's pretty close. Give me the
Okay.
real thing now.
Well,
So-
no, but you've got
so-
it, and it's not the whole idea as to whether or not Spielberg could actually make the movie or if his heart within it. It's. I'm sorry, it's not the fact that would he make a good movie because his heart's not in it. It's the fact that it's Steven Spielberg and he could do it. It's not can he or would he. It could happen.
He hates the genre.
It doesn't
he
matter.
get a
It's
swing
my
at-
dream, Todd, and you can see your way out of it.
So here's the thing about Kurosawa. He's proven himself across. I mean, obviously it's a dream because the man has passed, but he.
I'm sorry, he's not alive?
Well, yeah. It's not who you want to see direct a film in 2 years. It's your dream director. I mean, if you had said,
Wait.
No,
We
wait, I assume
completely
if you
lost
said-
Chuck.
I assume if you said you dream casting,
This is
you
why
would-
this is what I
that
love
the living
about
and
this.
the quick and the dead would be allowed. So he can direct large scale action. Ron. He can direct small scale action, intimate stories like Yojimbo. He directs actors fabulously. He can do ensemble, Seven Samurai. He can do a character piece like Yojimbo. He can play with genre. He can play with narrative voice like Rashomon. He brings so much to the table that goes into the polyglot genre that is the superhero film.
That's
My hobby horse
That's
in this-
powerful,
on this
but
podcast
Lost, like,
because it's always cobbled together from other genres because they're afraid of the genre itself.
so that's powerful. But just one point I want to circle back on. He is dead, though, right? You just want to circle back to that. Okay.
I assume that if the dead were off limits, I would have been notified as such by the
It is your
authorities
dream director, so
when I said
the argument does fit.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
okayed it, so it's fine. Doesn't matter if they're dead.
I'll allow it.
because
So-
to me it was in the spirit of like last year's like Too Late Now.
I
You
don't know
know.
what that is. And I want
Last
You
year
don't
had
know
a
what that
question
is.
about-
It was a question
It's
last
too-
year,
too
Todd.
late. It's too late for this person, so we're.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
Okay. All right.
So that's
All right.
I thought you meant a movie too late now. I'm like, I didn't see that.
I'm going to get you on another point then.
okay.
I'm gonna think I feel like it's fair that I'm like about an average superhero movie goer because I don't know I basically don't know anybody that you're talking about. I don't know any of the movies that you're talking about. I don't know the director that you're talking about. So I would wager that like a good 75-80% of the audience that regularly goes to and spends money on superhero movie genre doesn't know who you're talking about either.
Sure. How many Taika Waititi movies
Oh,
have you
who
seen
Steven
before
Spielberg
Ragnarok?
is.
Ragnarok.
Sorry?
How many Taika Waititi movies had you seen before Thor Ragnarok?
All right. Well, all right. That's fair. But I mean, still, like, I don't know any of these things. I mean, I don't know any of these movies you're talking about. It's hard to make an argument for somebody, A, that's dead, and B, that, like, we don't know any of those movies. And I don't.
He also directed The Bad Sleep Well, which is a brilliant noir crime film, just to throw another genre he's a master of in.
Single thing that I know. Not one single thing.
You know Seven Samurai because it was remade as The Magnificent Seven. You also know Yojimbo because it was remade as A Fistful of Dollars.
I know. Okay.
Yeah, he
So,
also basically can make westerns.
you know, the reality is, so Tarantino rightfully can be polarizing because of his willingness to go into violence and racial perspectives that are not talked about in polite society. However, I would posit that what Tarantino does best is go deep into characters. And I would point to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, a movie that is essentially two in-depth character studies. Give me any of these tortured deep characters in the comic universe and let Tarantino go at that.
so basically, you want Tarantino to make his version of Unbreakable? Is that what you're asking right now?
No, I want the origin and what happens next.
Oh, right.
What Tarantino does best is Tarantino. Tarantino should not be allowed to play in other
No.
people's sandboxes. He shouldn't do Star Trek. He shouldn't do superheroes. Tarantino should keep making Tarantino movies until whenever he decides he's done.
But don't you acknowledge that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is such a departure
Horrible
from his
movie.
films? What?
Horrible.
Right.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
wonderful.
I don't know that it represents a departure from his recent streak of taking real life historical tragedies and turning them into comic book morality, but fodder.
But the Manson family murders are only a backdrop to the character studies of Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio.
I mean, you could say the same thing about the Holocaust and Inglourious Bastards, but it's not true.
I mean, Brad Pitt is fantastic in that movie, obviously under the direction of Tarantino, but the rest of the movie was garbage.
No, he's a good movie. I mean, he's a good director.
He is a great director. I'm not taking anything away from him as a
director I do not want to see make a.
No, I don't either.
Listen, you don't turn him loose on Avengers. You don't turn him loose on Cap. Agree 100%. But you turn him loose on Punisher.
Oh wait, so now you're picking and choosing which ones he should make.
Or Blade.
I think that's fair.
That's fair.
Edgy character.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I don't. I think it would have been Deadpool, and I think it's already time has passed already.
I want to hear more about Catherine Bigelow.
I do too, because you guys won't shut up. So let me tell you. Well, sorry. Okay, so
Shannon Ann has the floor.
Thanks. Sorry. I don't want to keep. I feel like I keep harping on this, but I kind of felt like it was my duty to pick like another female director. So, as Casey pointed out, we only have two. Sorry, I thought there was only one, but you're right. There's only two. She's got an Academy Award and another like nomination ish. They're both. She does a lot of high intensity action type films, and she also covers a wide genre range. She delves into horror, which I didn't realize.
Have you never seen Near Dark? You should see Near Dark.
No, and I tried to watch a bunch of stuff, and all of them you got to pay for. There's a lot of stuff that you.
Is that the one with the vampire family that like?
Yeah, it's a modern day IK early '80s vampire western.
Yes, that's good.
She's been around a lot.
Bill Paxton's amazing in it.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to watch. She's been around a lot longer than I thought. She's had her share of flops. She did Stranger Things. No,
Strange Days.
Strange Days. Sorry, Stranger Things. I have Stranger Things on the main. She did Point Break.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wait,
are you saying that's a flop? Because Point Break is a fucking amazing movie.
Sorry, I meant
you talk about the first one with Patrick Swayze, right? And
There's no other Point Break.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even attempt to watch that. Yeah, which I always thought was kind of a bizarre film myself. I think I was like the wrong age to watch that. But like when I was researching her a little bit more, I found out that she tends to be like super creative with her camera angles. And one of the one movie I did get to watch was Detroit. And she does a lot of like handheld shots, and then she also manages to like weirdly mix them with a lot of she does like a lot of weird creative stuff with handheld shots, and then she does a lot of like from the top shots. She does a lot of things that she kind of creates her own mechanisms to hold the cameras and to move cameras. And in a lot of ways, sometimes you can't tell like the difference between like what's a documentary anymore and what is like a real shot. She does some really interesting things, and at the same time, she manages to do a lot of what like Todd is talking about Tarantino as far as like delving into serious character study stuff. I don't know. I think she's just kind of very real and interesting, and like I said, she's kind of the real deal.
It was Dark
But she's
World.
not a dream director.
Direct, right? She was supposed to direct Dark World.
Yep.
Yeah.
But she's not a dream director. She's an actual director of superhero movies.
She's already done one.
She's
so
never done one.
She's never.
She was
Oh!
supposed to direct
Wonder
Thor:
Woman.
The
Damn
Dark
it, never
World.
mind. Patty Jenkins.
That's
Yep.
Patty
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yep.
I think you-
Yeah.
No, Patty Jenkins was supposed to do Dark World. I don't think Catherine
Right.
Bigelow's ever.
No,
been
Patty
able to do
Jenkins
one.
was
Right. Yeah. I think that. I think I'd like to see her. I would really like to see her do one.
I'd be interested to hear her thoughts on this the genre, because I wonder if we have a Spielberg situation here where she doesn't want to do one. Whereas the late Akira Kurosawa's dying words were
You son of a.
I don't know. I don't speak Japanese.
That's right.
Don't you want to see the guy who made Ron and Throat of Blood make a
He's-
superhero movie?
I haven't
Really-
seen those.
they're just really good movies.
But I respect the people that respect him. But again, I feel like he's a man born too soon.
Not to mention, talk about taking the genre worldwide. You know, I mean, how many non-English speaking directors have we had of superhero films?
You don't need to take the genre worldwide, though. It's already worldwide all the time. I mean,
yes, but through
That's
American cultural hegemony, not through an inclusive welcoming of directors from other film traditions.
you said like Ragnarok was directed by who?
Yeah, Taika Waititi, but again, a native English speaker. A native English speaker. I'm talking about non-English speaking.
What was his name? Oh, okay.
You don't know who Taika Waititi is?
I do now.
He directed Jojo Rabbit.
No, more importantly,
What We Do in the
What You
Shadows.
Do in the Shadows.
What We Do in the Shadows, yes.
Oh no, the Jojo Rabbit is my current favorite movie.
So good. Also, while we're on the Taika love real quick, Boy is phenomenal.
I haven't seen Boy.
Oh, it's so good.
I would like to see that.
It's on Amazon.
All right, I will watch that.
I believe he's going to do a Star War.
All I've done is
Yes, so I heard.
this stuff all week.
Maybe they'll be good. All right.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I feel like that one just petered out into us talking about what Taika Waititi's there next.
So, hey, Todd and Chuck, you might want to just mute your mics, buddy. Yes, because no one brought it up.
Oh, I will now.
Quentin Tarantino has outrightly said if he's ever going to make a superhero movie, it's going to be his own characters. And I have one thing to say to that.
I loved Hancock.
Did
He did that.
Quentin Tarantino write or direct that?
No, it's an original character.
No,
that we
but it
didn't
would look
know
like
before the
motherfucking
movie
Bambi
comes out.
next to whatever he'd make.
I'm fine with that too.
Okay.
He Comes at Night. Isn't that the original short story?
That is, yes, he comes at night.
Yeah, it would be a different kind of cum if it was Quentin Tarantino.
It's a different kind of come in the short story.
Well, it's in the movie. And same thing with you, Chuck. Spielberg hates the genre. They had him loosely attached to Blackhawks for a day.
Is he not doing Blackhawks anymore? 'Cause that
I'm
would
sorry.
really
Did
be
you
a
say
superhero
Black
movie.
Hawks?
Yes, I
Yeah.
did.
How
Blackhawks.
racist. All right.
No, but Blackhawks would be a war movie, really, not even a superhero movie.
Mm-hmm. So it comes down to, obviously, Akira Kurosawa and Catherine Bigelow. And holy shit, you guys, you both brought up really great points. Colin listing all the genres that Akira Kurosawa has taken on is one of my favorite things. But Shannon also talking about Catherine's cinematography,
Now that was research.
which I 100% agree with. She has a beautiful eye with the camera.
She's doing like 3 things at once in Detroit. Like I couldn't figure out.
Oh, Detroit's so good.
That's the first time I've seen it. I was like, wait, is that the actual footage, or is she making it look like actual footage? Like I can't tell. And then there's she manages to get all these angles of one thing and then weave what I think might have been actual footage. And then I was like, no, maybe it's not.
It's borderline, Detroit especially, it's borderline found footage, how it's shot.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. If anyone else here hasn't seen Detroit, see Detroit. It's phenomenal. That being said, I'm going to give it to Shannon.
That's fair. Oh, can I share my favorite thing about Near Dark?
Yes.
Yes, because I would like to see it.
You should. It's
You totally should.
almost half the cast is the cast of Aliens, and it was basically made as Aliens was being made because she was at the time married to James Cameron, so she borrowed half his cast. That's why Michael Biehn is in it. That's why
Bill Paxton.
no, Michael Bihn's not in it. Bill Paxton's in it. Yeah, Lance Henriksen's in it. You should see it. It's a really fun.
I've never seen this movie.
You've never seen
definitely-
Near Dark?
Oh,
You should
it's-
see Near Dark.
It's
And like a
worth watching.
12-year-old what's his face, the former Mr. Natalie Maines is in it
Natalie Maines.
from the Chicks. What's his face? He's on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
The
plays-
Scottish dude?
No, he plays Talbot on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I gotta watch more of that one.
Talbot. Oh, from Heroes?
Adrian Pasdar.
Adrian Pasdar.
Adrian
Yeah, it's like a 12-year-old
shit.
Adrian Pasdar.
Oh, I don't
is
even
the- is
remember
the-
him.
Really?
He's the lead.
Oh, I'm in on that.
He's
now.
quite
You just sold me.
And
on
he used
that
to be
movie.
married to Natalie Maines from The Chicks.
You know what, Chuck? It's a movie you can sit down with a few beers and just have fun.
Oh, Chuck, have you seen Near Dark?
No, I haven't.
Do you like 80s action cinema?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do you like vampires?
Of course.
Do you
Of
like
course.
Lance Henriksen?
Yeah, actually,
And
I
you
do.
should see this movie.
Yeah, it's there's nothing.
Sold.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with recommending that. Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna watch it. Okay.
But it seems like this is the Shannon and Colin show right
Listen,
now.
I think we're spoilers at this point. I think we're
I
just
mean-
in it to ruin it for other
Hey,
people.
All right,
there's
ready?
There's plenty of time left in the.
There's 3 questions
Yeah.
left, big
Yeah,
guys. and
which means that one of us two have to win the
Listen,
next
All
3
three.
straight questions.
this is
So,
death.
Unless we get 2 and force an overtime, which I
oh,
don't know.
I
if we
have
should.
a sudden death question. Don't you
course
worry.
you
Here's our next question, and it's anybody's game at this point.
yeah.
Hey guys,
Come on.
by the way,
Everything was a warm up for this. Everything was a warm up.
this question comes from Will Benson. If you like this question, and you want to hear more from Will Benson, you can visit his podcast network, which is plaintalkerspodcast.com.
Will
Will
Ben.
Benson,
This is the
Long
D&D one,
time.
right?
friend of the podcast
Yeah,
with
that's the
great
Plain Talk-
insights.
Yeah.
Lost me some nights of sleep with this question.
So, I would like you, for fine people, to please recast the original MCU Avengers with younger actors. So I'm talking the original 6: Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, Hulk, and Hawkeye.
Okay.
Iron Man, Rahul Kohli. Thor, Gwendolyn Christie. Black Widow, Sophia Boutella. Captain America, Alden Ehrenreich. Hulk, Lakeith Stanfield.
You son of a bitch.
Why? Because it's so good?
No, because yes, because it's so good. Because he's my Hulk.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yes. Internet high five. Okay.
Hawkeye, Aquafina.
So I'd like to object to. So it's my turn.
No,
I'd like.
no objection. Just read your.
Yeah. Listen. I'm objecting to the casting of a character of an actor with the name Reich for Captain America. How fucking dare you? I feel like you should.
All it means is leader. All it means is not leader.
Listen, you are
Rule.
immediately disqualified. Absolutely not. So for Captain America,
Oh my God, slow down.
Timothée Chalamet. For Thor, Zac Efron. For Black Widow, Samara Weaving. For Iron Man, Richard Madden. For Hulk, Colin got it right, Lakeith Stanfield.
Nice.
And for Hawk, Jamie Bell.
Oh.
All right.
Hey guys, remember the list of how I read the superheroes?
Yeah.
In that order?
No.
We could do that order. It makes it a lot easier for me to follow along.
Oh, sorry.
So again, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, Hulk, Hawkeye.
Oh, okay.
I don't have it. I don't have it in my list as that order.
All right.
Whoa, Jesus, man down.
Wait, who's Jesus playing? Who is he playing?
That's right.
Hawkeye?
That's right.
Go back and
Well,
write
he
it down.
was Thor. It was the Christ figure, clearly. In Marvel, it's Thor. In DC, it's Man of Steel.
Shannon, read off our list, please. Jesus, peace.
I need to go back and have you guys read yours again in a second. Okay. But, okay.
Mm.
You ready?
We should have done PowerPoints.
Colin, we're barely making by doing a Zoom call right now. PowerPoints will wait for next year.
Okay. So tell me what the order is again. You just say it and I'm going to say the name. It's
Iron
Just
Man.
say yours.
Okay.
Casey's irrelevant here.
I can't believe that you guys have we have some of the same names. It's crazy to me.
Nice.
It's interesting. Todd's muted now. Go
Laugh.
ahead.
I thought you'd laugh at me for this. So I have Zac Efron as Iron Man.
Okay. As Captain America.
John Boyega.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
As Thor.
Shailene Woodley.
Okay. Black Widow.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Okay. As the Hulk.
Dev Patel.
Okay. And as Hawkeye.
Maisie Williams.
Okay. And last but not least,
All right.
Charles, I'll just read it to you and then you tell me which one
Same
it is.
thing.
Okay?
Yeah.
Iron Man.
I have as Timothy Oliphant.
Okay. Captain America.
I have him as Colton Hayes.
Okay. Thor.
Charlie Hunnam.
Okay. Black Widow.
Maisie Williams.
Okay. Hulk.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Okay. And Hawkeye.
Donald Glover.
All right. Go for it, guys.
I just want to, before we get started, I think it's awesome that none of us chose like an all-white guy.
Yeah.
Cast.
Yeah,
I'd watch
I-
that's
any of these
fantastic.
movies. I'd watch
Yeah.
any.
Oh, 100%. I was so happy that everyone, like, there was gender bending, there was, colorblind casting. So fucking awesome.
In fact, I honestly thought I was going to be sitting here just making that as my argument. Like, why not do something different?
Yeah.
But everybody did something different, and I think that makes it
I can't
such a more interesting conversation.
can't believe we have like some of the
That
same.
having been said, here's why you're all wrong. No. No, actually, so here's I almost used Maisie Williams for Black Widow, and I
But
almost
Black
I
Widow
almost
has
put-
to be. She's a honeypot. Her origin is a Russian. She's a Russian honeypot.
So can I tell you a
That's her
little bit
origin.
about my Black Widow? Russian Iranian.
Who is
Ooh.
But that's not Black Widow. So you're making your own.
But-
You're like
no,
Black
no,
you know,
no,
in his
because
superhero movies,
because the
you're making
Soviet
your own
Union
character.
fell in 1989, and I assume this film will be set in 2022, at least.
Well, luckily we
Right.
saw Putin keeping
Yeah,
those
I-
Soviet traditions strong.
Of
And
course,
if you're
but-
gonna if you're gonna go with an original origin, or not even origin, but Black Widow, when she started, she had short black hair, which Maisie Williams pulls off, and she fucking killed the Nightwalker.
Yep, but
So-
Yeah,
so
but
right
she's
there-
not a.
so do you know? So does everybody know who Sofia Boutella is?
no? Can you give me something?
Kingsman, and also the third Star Trek, Star Trek Beyond.
The one with the
She's in the white and black makeup in Star Trek Beyond.
J-Law.
She has like knife feet in Kingsman. She's got the combat chops. Now, granted, so does Maisie Williams, but for me, that was just a spot to bring a little more diversity in. I almost used John. I loved the idea of John Boyega. I had him down for Captain America for so while.
She's the chick with the blade feet.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like her
really,
a lot.
really feel like there is something.
But that
to having Captain
iconic red
America.
hair.
Yeah, but she doesn't have red hair in the beginning. Her origin is to have short black hair,
And
and Maisie Williams pulls off perfectly.
But she's not a sex.
I think
bot.
there's something.
What?
What?
Maisie Williams.
Well, let's just stop
Listen,
that
what?
conversation.
Yeah, we're not. No one's comfortable with her when she bangs in season 8.
Well, it's only because we saw her grow up, but she's 4 now. It's perfectly okay to talk about her as a
Nope.
sex pot.
Nope. Hard pass.
So before we all just tear down, should we go through and just do short? Here's my reasoning. Here's my idea of what the
Yep.
character
Yeah,
looks
be
like. as
short,
this
yeah.
actor.
Real
You
quick.
beat me
That'll
right
be-
to it. Go ahead.
Gotta
Okay.
be short.
So who's starting? Me.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if you don't, does anybody not know who Raul Coley is? Okay, has anybody seen iZombie?
No.
So he's
Yes.
on iZombie. He's
Robbie.
He's Robbie on iZombie. So
I haven't seen it enough to know
Oh.
He's the
he's-
Indian American actor
He's,
on
he's,
I
well,
Oh.
he's
For who?
British. He's South Asian British.
Excuse me.
What I
he's
love
not-
about that is he's charming, but also
I'm sorry. Which
nerdy.
character? Which character?
Ravi, the doctor.
no.
Ravi,
No. Which
Iron Man.
Avenger? Iron Man.
He's Iron Man. So he's a suave nerd who also I picturing him not trying an American accent, being British, being a mega billionaire citizen of the whole world kind of guy. He has a house in California, but he also has a house in Switzerland. He also has a house in London. He also has a house in Hong Kong because he's that, So that's my idea of who his Tony Stark is. Lakeith Stanfield, I mean, he's a great actor. We've seen that the man can play Something Is Underneath. If you look at Get Out, have you seen Get Out? Have you seen?
I still don't know who he is. Who are we talking?
He's the lead of Get Out.
He's in
He's the black guy.
Have you seen Knives Out?
Yeah. Wait a minute. He's the lead in.
No, he's not the
Get
lead
Out.
in Get Out. He's not the lead.
Do you remember
in
the
Get Out.
scene in Get Out when the guy says "Get Out"?
Excuse me. He's not the lead in Get Out?
No,
Of course he's the lead in Get Out.
he's
Oh,
not the
no.
lead in Get Out.
Todd, you're mixing up your black people right now.
Yeah, you
Look-
are.
Lakeith Stanfield?
Is also from Sorry to Bother You.
Sorry to bother you.
Yeah.
You're
You're
thinking of the
Daniel
dude from Black.
Kailua.
Yeah, you're
Daniel
thinking
Oh,
of
Kailua.
shit.
Kailua.
Oh, no. He's the. Sorry. He's the.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. Yep. Please
So,
continue.
so
Guys.
he's a guy. He's a guy who can play. I've got something going on underneath. He's very plausible as a scientist type, and I think he'd be just amazing at it. Actually, so Gwendolyn Christie is Thor. I mean, that right there. If you want a female Thor, I don't think you can find somebody better than 6'6" blonde Gwendolyn Christie. Alden Ehrenreich as Captain America. I really did. I had John Boyega, but I wanted an actual American actor. It was that one little bit of traditionalism. Alden Ehrenreich. He was young Han Solo. That movie was not particularly great.
Okay.
But if you have seen Hail Caesar,
Hail
Caesar.
he is so good in that. That guy is, and he had an impossible job in Solo, an impossible job, and I think he did a perfectly fine job. He's got the look. He's a really great actor. So here are my two, like, I'm really kind of taking a different thing. So Natasha is in this version, Russian Iranian. She's the generation after the Cold War. She's a much, and she's a much more global. I really had it's almost an inspiration here, what they did with All New X-Men, where it was like trying to bring in people from all over the world and bring a more global perspective. Awkwafina, everybody knows who Awkwafina is?
Love her. She was
Okay.
also in, what's the
Here's
movie? Where the
what I'm
blades
getting
are
back to.
orange?
She's still Clint Barton. Maybe it's Claire Barton. She's not, she's still.
Claire. Claire's a fat girl's name.
Wow. Holy
It's a movie quote.
shit.
It's a movie quote. I went back to the 80s.
Oh,
Oh, you didn't pick up on that? I'm
boy,
not fat.
remember when
No,
Chuck
but I
was
can
part of
really
the
see you pushing
Five-Timers
fat
Club?
maximum density.
Well, Chuck, thanks for coming tonight. We're
What?
just gonna-
Come on. I went back.
So the MCU Clint Barton is very much the ultimate's Clint Barton, right? He's a military guy. He's more taciturn. He is not the lovable fuck up who used to be in a circus.
right.
That is Clint Barton. I want the lovable fuck up who used to be in a circus. And I think Awkwafina would be amazing at that, playing a much more comic role. Again, it's obviously a way to get both gender and racial diversity in, but I think she'd be hysterical as sort of, this like trick circus performer who's a bit in over her head and kind of always has a quip and always has a silly, thing. I think it's getting back to the roots of the comic by also totally reinventing the character. Done.
All right. So I'll work from backwards. So I appreciate the comic characters, but things don't always work well in the comics. That's why in the X-Men movies we get what? Did you think we were going to have yellow spandex? It doesn't work. So I don't want the purple Hawkeye from the comics. So Jamie Bell as the workman, kind of like, I'm a soldier. This is my job. These are the tools of my trade. And I go about it in a very craftsman type approach. That's who I want for my Hawkeye. You're right. You said it for Hulk, Lakeith Stanfield, that what's underneath, all about him. Iron Man, Richard Madden, with that.
Hang on.
Yep.
Are you staying with the Keith Stanfield, or were you thinking of Daniel
No.
Kaluuya?
I'm sorry. Lakeith Stanfield is who I had. Lakeith Stanfield.
Right, but did
Yeah.
you have the right African American
No, I did.
actor?
I did. I had the right black guy.
Okay. Just want
I
to make
was
sure. Go ahead.
Yes, in
Go
a
ahead.
moment of passion, I misspoke. Lakeith Stanfield is my guy for the Hulk. He's got the depth to play that inner rage. Iron Man, Richard Madden. the cool nerd is not our Tony Stark. It is the Greek level of hubris and pride, and Richard Madden in his cool expectation that everything would be fine at the Red Wedding is absolutely that level of world level ego that we need for the billionaire playboy arms manufacturer. For Black Widow, Samara Weaving from Ready or Not has the smoke show physical attributes, the ability to work in a physical manner, and the poise under pressure that she shows in that movie is exactly what we need as an ex-KGB femme fatale, ex-honeypot, now reinventing herself in the world. Thor, this is, so Colin, you make an interesting point with Gwendolyn Christie. I'm a huge fan. And if we were casting Love and Thunder, then I'm right with you. But we're talking about Thor. We're not talking about
Thor.
Jane Foster.
Whosoever shall hold this hammer.
We're talking
shall
about
wield the
we're
power
talking
of
about Thor. Zac
whosoever.
Efron is the perfect successor to the humor that we got in Ragnarok. He's the perfect physical specimen with the ability to laugh at himself and be funny that character desperately needs to undercut the otherwise two-dimensional nature of it. And finally, for Captain America, Timothée Chalamet, I would put forth the Netflix film The King to show his ability to project a gravitas and a maturity far beyond his years, which is the essence of Steve Rogers, the man out of time. I cede my remaining time.
I don't think you have any left, but
Okay, go ahead, Shannon.
well, okay. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that I had a good like 50% male and female here. I desperately wanted to find a female to play Iron Man, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't find somebody that was I wanted to find a Robert Downey Jr. that was a female that was also young enough, because you said it has to be a younger cast, and I couldn't find both of those things. I couldn't find somebody that was age appropriate that was also as snarky and sarcastic and sort of as jaded as Robert Downey Jr. And I kind of wanted to like pay respect to him a little bit. So I went with Zac Efron. I still can't believe some of you guys picked him. I thought you would all laugh your heads off at me. Okay, because he's kind of, he's an ultimate performer to me. And I think that that's Iron Man. He's got to be showy. He's just this much older than all the other actors that I picked. And I think that that's kind of what Iron Man is to me. He's sort of showy and fun and snarky and sarcastic. And I think that the multitude of movies that Zach's been in the last couple of years, I think that he can pull that off.
First name basis.
He's a doll. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I watching Detroit the other night kind of sealed it for me. I wasn't sure that John Boyega had like the acting chops to pull off Captain America, but yeah, he kind of sold me. So he's been in a couple of really darker, deeper movies lately, and again, he's young enough, I think, to pull it off. Shailene Woodley is star of the the Divergent series, sorry, and she's been in that whole like YA action series herself, and then she's done a bunch of other movies I didn't even realize that she was in, and held her own with a lot of with George Clooney and many others. And she is the same height as the guys. So yeah, you're right, Colin, with the Gwendolyn Christie thing. But I think that she's a big enough girl to hold her own with these guys. And I think they could do like a little bit of camera trickery there for her. And then
Hang on. She's this. How tall is she?
she is she's 5'8",
Okay.
and so is Zac Efron.
Gotcha. Okay. For the way you said it, it sounded like she was the same height as Chris Hemsworth, who is 6'3", and I was like, motherfucker, that's a big lady.
I was carefully looking at that. She's not shorter than them, but she's the same height. So I feel like they'd have to.
Gwendolyn Christie is the same height as Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, she's enormous.
She's a big lady.
She's a big.
No apple box for her.
She's also 41 though, Colin. Just saying.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But she doesn't look it.
Dev Patel is just currently like one of my favorite people in the world, and he's just got like this level of nerdiness that I just adore. He's so stinking cute. I can't stand it.
I almost wanted him for Iron Man, but I just love that other actor so much.
He's the one that was in yesterday, right? The Beatles movie?
No, he's Slumdog Millionaire.
Yes.
Okay,
Slumdog
yes.
Millionaire And Life of Pi.
Yeah, I just watched Hotel.
And let's not forget Chappie.
No, let's just forget.
Yeah, I don't
We'd be okay with that. Yeah.
bother. But the show that I really I watched Newsroom on HBO like a couple years ago, right? And like that's the thing
That's
that
the Dev Patel you're thinking of?
yeah,
That makes sense.
he's just darling in it, and I just really like this mixture of like kind of innocence and hand wringing that he can pull off, and he seems sort of sciencey. I don't know, to me, I just really like him. And so the girls, Maisie Williams was the first person that I came up with for Hawkeye. I liked the idea of having a girl play that part. I knew that I was going to end up with a girl as Hawkeye and a girl as, obviously, as Black Widow. And I thought that might throw off their relationship a little bit, but I think it's going to be okay. I know that they're best friends, and there's no love relationship with the two of them.
Are you thinking of her as Kate Bishop, who's the female Hawkeye in the comics?
I'm not, because I don't know that. So maybe, yeah, if that works, I guess, yeah. No, I really wasn't. All I was thinking was, Maisie Williams kicking ass in Game of Thrones and being in just pulling arrows, and I just thought she'd be hilarious. I know that and then what's her name? Is it Millie Bobby Brown or Bobby Millie Brown? I feel so bad.
It was Millie Bobby Brown.
That's terrible. I know that they are the two on the youngest side, and I figured that the two of them have a friend relationship and they would be growing up together. I know that Millie Bobby Brown is not probably not what we would consider the sexiest girl in the world right now, and I don't mean to say that in a mean, terrible way, because she's just very young. But
much like Annie on Community, we don't like to sexualize Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, okay. She's grown up though, and I just feel like the two of them are on the younger side, and they be kind of growing into their characters a little bit. And Black Widow's like the kind of character that is in disguise all the time. So I know that we're talking about her being like very, very sexy girl, but like I also think of her as being an assassin who is what I mean, like she's constantly in disguise and hunting people down. I think that would be an interesting choice. All right.
I'm sorry. Did you throw shade at the length of my response? I just like to, point of order. I just like to
stutter when I'm like pulling off, when I'm just.
Listen,
15 seconds.
Talk it out, because I'm going to say right now, I want to pick and choose from each one of your lists. So okay, go ahead.
Do you need me to go in the order that you want?
And make us defend particular people, you mean?
No. I've got an idea here.
There's going to be like a points distribution.
A dream list?
Like
Yeah.
buckshot.
No, nothing like that. Go ahead, Chuck.
Do you want me to go in your order?
Yeah, go ahead. Go into whatever order you want. I just
Okay. So like I said, I had Maisie Williams for Black Widow. I think she was, as far as I'm concerned, she's a no-brainer for 2 or 3 people on this list. But for Black Widow, she falls into the original Black Widow when she had the short black hair, which is what we've seen her in Game of Thrones the whole time. She's done dancing to include ballet, point, tap, street and freestyle, gymnastics, and trampolining. So she can actually do probably a lot of her own stunts that you're seeing Scarlett Johansson do or need a stunt double for. So she can do that. She's small enough, so she's going to fit into that tight thing, and she's going to the tight jumpsuit that Black Widow wears, and it's going to look good on her. And as we said, she killed the Night King, so that alone is a resume topper. I went with Charlie Hunnam for Thor. I mean, let's face it, they could be brothers. Sons of Anarchy, he shows a lot of attitude. He basically plays a genuinely bad guy. But I think that would translate pretty well into Thor because Thor is, the mightiest Avenger. Colton Hayes for Captain America. He's actually got a wall in his house called the Great Wall of Positivity where he writes all of his positive thoughts. That's got Captain America written all over it. He was the antagonist in Teen Wolf. He did a couple years in Teen Wolf. He actually was, like I said, one of the bad guys. He's got great dimples like Chris does. He was the Gatorade Athlete of the Year in tennis, so he's already got that athletic thing. Granted, now he's going to need some test tube stuff to help build up that stuff, but he's got cap. I mean, this has got cap.
Can I ask a question? Is his cap straight? Because he's not.
No, he's not. I know, and he's actually he's been married now, I think, for 2 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So I mean, that would be a good little swerve to throw in there. I know it would piss off a lot of people, but you're not going to bother me with that. I mean, it's Captain America.
I like that.
He doesn't swear. You kiss your mother with that mouth? Come on.
While we're on Colton Hayes,
any women with that mouth.
Yeah. While we're on Colton Hayes, he was also on Arrow.
He was on.
Yes,
Arrow,
I'm sorry. I meant to mention that he was on Arrow, so he's already got the superhero stuff for the
You
rest.
do stunts. Yep.
For Tony Stark, I went with Timothy Olyphant. Same thing. He's not a younger actor.
I think he's younger than RDJ.
Right, he is. And part of the reason why I went with him too is because of Tony Stark already is an older character. If we're going to go ahead and start it the way they started Iron Man, so he's already an older character. The other thing too is I think he looks a lot like his younger father from Captain America. So they have that look there, and I think he also has that. I'm calling you a douchebag without actually using words type of look to him that Robert Downey Jr. has. So he's got a great look to him, and I think that he could pull it off. Daniel Radcliffe as the Hulk. He was Harry Potter. Yeah, Porter. He was Harry Potter, so he's got the nerd part down. He's small. He's only 5'5". So with that, it makes to me, it makes a great contrast between him being the Hulk. So you've got the nerdy doctor, scientist, super genius guy turning into this giant rage machine. It's perfect. Huh?
I almost picked him. That was my second choice.
I love him. I think he's fantastic. And then where am I? I got Donald Glover for Hawkeye. I actually haven't seen anything that this guy's been in that I don't like. He's naturally a stand-up comic. He was a writer on 30 Rock. He's a rapper. He was already in Spider-Man. Small part, but I wouldn't count that as actually being, having a major role.
Well, it's a small part, but it's a big part of the universe.
It is. No, I know. But the stand-up comedian in him would be great for the wittiness and the in the improv would be there that Jack Barton has, anyways. And
who's Jack Barton?
I'm sorry, son of a bitch. I'm tired. And he was the best part of a horrible movie, and that being Solo. So I think
you're goddamn right.
I think he'd be perfect. So there you go. Try to make it short and sweet.
I'm sorry, that's Phoebe Waller-Bridge erasure that I will not deal with.
Yeah, well, that's true too. She's
great.
She's
from Fleabag. Is she in Solo?
She's the droid.
She's the droid.
Oh, the droid. Yeah. Yeah.
It works. It works.
I'm fine with that.
She becomes the motherboard of the Millennium Falcon in the end.
Yeah. Are we diving in, Casey, or do you want to steer this?
No more. Everyone had great points.
Wait. Can I just point out that one of his guys is in Eternals? He's already in the MCU.
Not yet.
Ooh.
Yes, he is. In Eternals, they finished principal photography. Richard Madden.
Well, we haven't seen it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Listen.
Listen.
Will we ever see it? When's Black Widow coming out?
Shut up.
Yeah.
I didn't give you a point for it anyways.
You have questions, Casey?
No, I don't have
No,
any
he's going to
questions.
give us. He's going to assign points per person, and then whoever has the most points wins.
Or is it,
That's why we're brothers.
Listen,
boo?
Calm down.
point out some problems.
God, I want to see Lakeith Stanfield play.
All right, go on.
Yeah. But first of all, I want to see that. I also want to see Daniel Radcliffe play the Hulk because
Yeah.
holy fucking shit. That's like when you sent me that, Chuck, I was like, God
Yep.
damn it, you may win the whole thing just on that.
But he
But
won't.
I've gone a different way. All right. I'm gonna go down the
Tyrone
list.
Power as Captain America.
Okay. So Colin,
Yes.
Raul Coley, 100%. I endorse this so fucking hard. That is
Who?
correct. The guy from iZombie playing.
I know, but for who? Playing which
Iron Man.
character?
Iron Man.
Okay.
I also begrudgingly like Aldrin, even though I do not like him as Han Solo at all.
So good in Hail Caesar.
I've never seen Hail Caesar.
Oh, you should see Hail Caesar. It's really funny.
Gwendolyn Christie, I just don't know if she's got the. I never watched Game of Thrones, so I don't know if she's got the chops in her to pull
pretty
off
awesome.
what Chris Hemsworth has done with that part.
Oh, she's pretty awesome.
She is 41 though.
That doesn't matter.
You
We're
Stop-
done with the
stop
argument.
Stan.
Sophia Botello, yes. And Lakeith Sanfield, yes. Aquafina, I love your argument, but you know what I want before that? I want a hearing impaired Clint Barton.
Oh, that's a
Because
great idea too.
They
That's a
have
great
completely ignored the fact that he is deaf from the comics, and I think that is kind of a shame.
I didn't know that.
I actually did do a little research and didn't find anybody that clicked for me. With
That would explain why he can see so.
Oh, I don't mind if the actor isn't. I'm just talking about representation.
No, see, I wanted
It's
the
not
actor.
the original
Well,
That was
character.
my
It's
thing. I
later
wanted
in
the
the
actor to
evolution of
be.
the character. Yeah,
How
it's
dare
not
you.
I would suggest it's not a defining characteristic of Hawkeye.
They made a
It's
big
later.
deal of it in,
Well,
in his last
they-
solo series, though.
But it is
Remember,
also
he did sign language.
Yeah, during My Life as a Weapon. Yeah,
and it is also shown too that when you lose a key sense, your other senses get that much better, which would clue in on why he's able to see everything.
But he doesn't start out that way.
everything.
What? Everything.
It's too late. I've seen everything.
No, that's every one.
They've
No,
taken
no,
off the.
that's
I know. It's
extras.
extras. Patrick Stewart, and I've seen everything. And
Star Trek
all the women have taken their clothes off, and I've seen everything. So 1, 2, 3 for Colin. Okay, Todd.
Out of 6.
What? No.
Todd, you should probably shut the fuck up right now.
Yeah, Todd,
right.
you probably got to do better than 50%.
All right.
Okay, Richard Madden. No, I wasn't a strong enough argument with Greek hubris. He's Captain America, not Captain Greece.
No. Richard Madden was Iron Man.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Okay.
Wrong grease. The grease in the joints of the suit.
You got
is
it.
not the
But
grease
you
you're
don't think he's got
thinking
to grease up before he gets in that suit? Yeah.
of. Yeah,
He's
yeah,
got
just like a
too much friction, man. So no,
we
Timothée
reached the punning part of the evening.
Chalamet would have a hard challenge to get as buff as Captain America needs to be. He's a pretty skinny guy.
Is it seriously pronounced Timothée?
It is 100% pronounced
It is.
Timothée. I sent it to Chuck or to Todd to make sure he said it right. It is
That's
not
right.
Timothy. It's Timothée.
Timothy.
He just doesn't correct people.
Right.
But he was on the Bullseye, Jesse Thorne's podcast,
Yeah.
and he said it, and I was like,
Okay.
"You
Well,
saying
you
it
know,
like that?" And then I
I'm
looked it
not-
up. I was like,
Far
"Oh,
be it
because-"
from me
Mhm.
with my often mispronounced name.
No, that's Chuck.
Shots fired.
Look,
No,
tell me I'm wrong. You mispronounce stuff.
Oh, quite often, actually.
However, Timothée Chalamet, I think, does have the acting chops to be able to pull off Man Out of Time, the strong will that Cap has to have. So I'm giving you a point there. Zac Efron, you had me at a perfect physical specimen. That dude is a god already. Like, he wouldn't have to do a whole lot of work to get into Thor shape. He is, so I'm definitely
I
giving
think
you
he
a
pretty
point
much lives at Thor shape. Yeah.
there. Samara Weaving, I'm going to point out, if you haven't seen the movie Guns Akimbo, see the movie Guns Akimbo. It's batshit crazy, and she is amazing in it. Daniel Radcliffe's really good in it, too. That being said, knowing her physicality from Ready or Not and from this, I'm going to give you a point. So I almost didn't give this to you because you originally had the wrong black dude.
No, listen. My email says Lakeith Stanfield. I misspoke.
I know
You are
it does.
correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm going to give you the point, though, because I gave it to Colin. It wouldn't be fair to be like, well, Colin said it, but it doesn't work for you. And Jamie Bell, no, Jamie Bell had his chance in a little movie called Fantastic Four, and he was bad in that, too. That being said, you have 4 points.
Okay.
All right.
Shannon.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm going to give you points off the bat for really looking for a female RDJ. That's hard. Though, if someone wanted to gender bend Captain America, there's a little actor by the name of Allison Brie who would be a fantastic.
Who is that?
Community.
Community.
See, I don't watch that show. I don't
You
know.
should watch Community. It's,
A young Sandra Bullock could have
Glow.
done it
Have you
too.
seen Glow?
no,
That's who I.
Sandra Bullock could have been a good Iron Man 100%, but she's
What?
I
Oh, back in the day,
that's a pretty good idea.
absolutely.
was too old.
Yeah,
Sandra
it's a
Bullock,
great idea.
but now she's too old. Yeah,
I don't
But
know if she's
still
too
in my-
old.
She's still in my Hall of Fame, but
Oh.
she could have done it easy.
Oh well, yeah.
Like, I am not going above. I was barely glancing above 30. So like
I can tell by your list.
I know, like that's I was very rich.
Researching this made me feel so old.
Oh, it's
So
ridiculous.
you can
I was
all
like-
think, Will,
I was
this
like,
wasn't
look
my
at all these,
question.
like 30 under 30 lists.
It must have made Todd feel like he's
Who-
close to
Who the fuck
AARP
is
age.
that?
Every time I
Because
found
he's the oldest in the
Chuck.
group.
Chuck, I am close to AARPH. What do
I
you
know. Oh, I'm right behind you.
I'm talking months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not moving that fast anymore, so don't worry.
I was like, and then I was like, isn't there like an the new Iron Man, like isn't she like African American and female?
There is
Yeah.
there Iron Heart, yeah.
Riri Williams, yeah.
That's what I was trying to go for, and I couldn't do it. So then I was like, all right, I'm gonna flip flop it. I'm gonna find like a male Iron Man, and I'll find a female black Captain America, and then I was like, that origin story is never gonna work. Like that's not gonna work. So then
I looked so hard for somebody to play America Chavez, who is the interdimensional Puerto Rican
Ooh.
as Captain America, but I couldn't find an actress I liked.
it was
Okay.
yeah. Sorry.
So I gave you a point for Zach because I think Zach's cockiness.
Yeah.
Look at Neighbors. I mean, he's so good in those. Those movies are not very good, but he's great in them.
No, he's darling. Thank you.
John Boyega, I gave you 100% a point for that. That guy was completely robbed out of having anything to do in the final 2 Star Wars films, and I think he's a good actor. I think
Thank you.
he's.
Everybody's seen Attack the Block, right?
Oh yeah.
You
No.
gotta
Oh
see
my
Attack the
God.
Block. You gotta see Attack the Block.
He said
Aliens invade a public housing project in London.
In English.
It is
Yeah.
so fucking good.
All right, you got me.
it's so good.
It's
And
and,
he's
and
fantastic.
thus proceeds a brilliant action comedy. It's really
Nice.
good.
I'm writing that down right now.
Shailene Woodley.
Yeah.
You couldn't sell me on it. I don't.
Here, she's like jacked.
I never saw the Divergent movies, so there you go. You wrote it down.
Yeah.
I can't believe no one said Saoirse Ronan. I was so close to saying Saoirse Ronan.
Ooh.
She's very wafy. I was not into her.
Have you seen Hannah?
I just don't care. I just don't. I'm not
I
in.
love Saoirse.
Saoirse Ronan is a fantastic actor, and if
Over
you
her-
had said that, you would have 100% gotten a point.
No, I couldn't. I just was like not into her.
How could you not be into Saoirse Ronan?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize she was in Hannah though. I didn't realize that was her.
Have you seen Lady Bird?
Yeah, I did. And I kept leaving it because I was bored, and I was like, "What am I gonna do with her? Where am I gonna?"
So you missed the 7-minute hand-to-hand combat sequence?
Yeah, I did.
That doesn't really happen.
I think you're lying to us.
Set to Satellite by the Dave Matthews Band.
Oh, we can't pay for the rights for that.
I already had before. with her.
Okay, so oh,
You
God.
tell just want this to devolve into like us just bullshitting about who should play these roles.
No,
You could have a whole podcast just on this.
Girl.
Yeah, no kidding.
One of the top 3 parts. You needed a girl. You have to.
I
Oh,
hear
yeah.
you. I hear you. Just
I'm telling you, she's got like when she wears like the tank top and she's like, "Gee."
Wait, you
you're
have
still
her
not getting a
I thought we
point.
weren't
You
supposed
can't
to-
argue
I thought
your
we
way
weren't
out of it.
supposed to argue our points
Yeah.
anymore. We were just supposed to listen to Casey
Yeah.
give
Wait,
his
wait.
points for what we
You
Just
already.
out of
think a
curiosity, you
returning
have her as Black
champion would
Widow?
know that?
Right, exactly.
And these guys all broke all the rules because they've got people that are way in their 40s and 50s.
You said
Well, then we
younger.
did-
Every
if that was the case, then
Everybody
we'll
in my list is
we'll be
younger than the
punished by not
actor who
getting
currently
points for
plays
that.
them,
So let's move on.
Except Gwendolyn Christie.
And Christie, who's way too old.
Well, Timothy
She's
Timothy
3
Oliphant was
years
born in
older than Chris
68.
Hemsworth. Calm down.
Timothy Oliphant, I think, is 51. So yes, I was off on that one too.
That's
But,
fine.
hey,
No, he's younger than RDJ.
Yeah, did I tell anyone to come back with a
Yeah, I
different
think I
character?
feel like everybody
No.
got one older one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's fair because I think it's cool to say that maybe in this version, Iron Man isn't the elder statesman in the same way because they might change up the cast dynamics.
but he is the true leader.
Wow. All right.
Okay.
Wait. No, just calm down.
That's
Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait, Todd. That was a nice Dr. Cox imitation.
All right, decide. I gotta pee.
Did he leave?
He did.
Oh, come on.
I mean,
No.
you knew in a visual one.
Of course, it was coming out eventually.
Listen,
He-
thankful that's all that did.
It's almost like a peeping
Oh.
Tom in a park. Eventually, it was going to come out.
I'm sorry. You were saying? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Good,
Well,
yep.
Everyone shut up so I can finish this. It's 11:17.
Oh Christ, not a bike.
Okay. Millie Bobby Brown, a phenomenal actor. I don't want to see her play the honeypot.
yeah, I
I
hear
don't
you.
want to see 11 play the honeypot. That's
Just like Maisie Williams.
No, Maisie Williams can do it.
However, Dev Patel is a great choice.
Yeah, that was.
So I'm going to give you a point there.
Thank you.
And Maisie Williams.
You had him as Bruce Banner, right?
Yeah,
That's the Hulk. Yeah, that's a pretty good choice.
yeah.
Maisie Williams as Hawkeye. No,
Really? You didn't see that?
really.
Come on, man. Oh, that'd be awesome.
You guys saw who's gonna probably do it on the show, right? Who's gonna play
Kate Bishop is.
Kate Bishop, no.
Haley Steinfeld.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that I'm good with that. That one I'm
Yeah, I
good
think
with.
that's pretty good casting.
Yeah.
that's great casting.
Is that from True Grit?
Yeah.
Yes.
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 I freaking had her down too.
Oh,
Well, you didn't say her.
all right.
You would have lost because they're actually gonna cast her.
How many?
Yeah. And excuse me. That leaves Charles. Timothy Oliphant, yes, 100% can play a douchebag with just a look.
You got
But I don't know if I would buy him as the genius billionaire that Tony Stark has to be. So I didn't give you a point there. However, Colton Hayes, I'd see that all day. I think he's a great actor. He was fantastic. Though you could have also put him as Hawkeye and made your argument the dude already knows how to work a bow and arrow because of arrow.
I had actually had Donald Glover first.
Is that was your jumping off point?
Yep.
Which I gave you a point for.
I had already given Donald Glover Hawkeye, period.
Mhm.
So just because of like I said, just his wit, his stand-up comedian stuff, all the things that Barton does, like nobody would know. Nobody.
Yeah, right.
So
From
just that
Ultron.
stuff. Right.
Charlie Hunnam, no, I believe he was in the running for the part and didn't get it. So
That is correct.
So no, Maisie Williams, your only argument, my friend, was that she has short black hair.
No, I believe he mentioned that she killed the Night King at least 3 times.
And I also mentioned how she does all the dance, and whatnot.
Yeah, I know, but you're really, your big point was that. So I didn't give you one there. Daniel Radcliffe, you got a point. Donald Glover, you got a point. So that means Chuck and Shannon have 3 points. I'm sorry, Chuck, Shannon, and Colin have 3 points, but Todd's got 4.
What?
Todd's got a point.
So now wait, are those points in the big game, or does that mean Todd
That's just for
wins
this
round?
question.
Todd
Wins this round, so that's 1 point in the big game.
Yes,
Damn
sir.
it. Okay.
Right. It's like sets and matches in tennis, which apparently
Got it.
Colton Hayes is good at, and I didn't know.
Yeah, I did not know that
That was
either.
news to me. I thought this is my favorite question so far.
This one? Yeah,
This is the one that I was like, oh, this will be fun to talk about.
I feel like this is the most comic book geek question.
Oh my
so
God,
far.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
So once again, thank you, Will Benson.
Will Benson, way to go. Go check out his
I really
podcast.
thought Maisie
Funny
Williams was
talk.
going to win that
I'll be
one
right back.
for me.
Okay, wait, we got to go
I
for it.
almost had Maisie Williams for Black Widow.
Nobody wants to see. I cannot. I'm telling you, I was physically uncomfortable when she bangs Gendry.
Shebang.
It was hard to watch. I mean, I watched it, but I wasn't happy about it.
All right, so second to last question. I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yes.
What's the worst Star Wars movie? Colin, go ahead.
Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
Are we doing our arguments or we're just listening?
No, we're just
No,
listening,
didn't
right?
it?
Okay.
We've already. This is your first time doing this?
Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Yeah, God,
Shannon.
I knew you guys would say all those. Revenge of the Sith.
And Chuck.
Solo.
All right, I just asked
Wait.
anybody.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wrote this down wrong. What's the best Star Wars movie? And yes, you have to stay with your answers.
We have to argue our.
You now have to
You know,
argue why Attack of the Clones is the best movie, why Phantom Menace is the best movie, why Solo is the best movie, and why Revenge of the Sith is
So
the
the
best
Obi-Wan
movie.
Kenobi
Wait, sorry.
fun.
plot where Obi-Wan goes to the water planet and has to do a whole lot of investigation is a wonderful.
So if the Star Wars story
showcase for
is
Ewan
arc
McGregor
of
and
Anakin Skywalker's redemption,
Wait a minute. You can't
Wait,
all
can't
argue
you
at
have-
once.
Aren't we supposed to still
the
argue our points
apotheosis-
first
the
before we say
apotheosis
why?
of George Lucas's love for John Ford and specifically the Searchers is
fuck you,
found
Casey.
in
Fuck
the
you.
scene in which Anakin kills the Tusken Raiders on Tatooine. It is an amazing quote almost of the Searchers. It's such a great moment. Are we really doing this, by the way?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so
In a-
I feel like I'm winning now.
You're good right now. And
In a-
someone else go.
In a series defined by the lightsaber, the finest lightsaber duel in all of the movies is Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn.
Nobody,
Absolute-
I don't see
I'm
what
sorry.
anybody's trying to hit in that.
I'm sorry, point of order. I refuse to acknowledge the gentleman from New Jersey. I'm sorry. So it is the jumping off point for the entire mythology. Are there some shortcomings? Of course there are. But we get the principal relation without the discovery of Anakin Skywalker and the plucking of him from his fate by Queen Amidala. We have nothing behind it.
I'm sorry, is Christopher Lee in that particular?
Nope. He shows up in Attack
Okay,
of the
yeah,
Clones.
Christopher Lee isn't in that the lightsaber fight.
I'm sorry, I think
Just-
it's
just
Shannon's
clarifying,
turn.
it
I think
lacks
Shannon should
Christopher
speak
Lee.
now. I think Shannon.
A minute. I want to protest this. Why are we doing it this way?
Because it's fun.
Oh, because it's
This
fucking
is-
hilarious.
and most
That's
of us
why.
are half in
This
the
is the
back.
Shannon,
second
you
it's
should-
time
best
to do
question
it.
of the night so far.
Shannon, you should insult Casey about this. I recommend
yeah.
that.
Definitely,
Yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
Do that.
What do you got, Shannon?
I'm really mad about this.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah?
tell
else?
Casey what a fucker he is. Yeah.
Come on, what else you got to say?
We're going to another argument about this.
Uh-huh. Okay. That's
You have a pretty easy job. Yours is not a terrible film.
Oh,
Don't hate Colin. What the? Come on, man. What are you doing?
Chuck is furiously typing away. I noticed.
No,
I'm just like, why is Solo not terrible?
Google can't help you.
Is it my turn?
No,
Or-
it's Shannon's turn.
Well, I thought that she was whining.
I mean, I gave you the Phoebe Waller-Bridge thing earlier. That could help.
She sure was.
We're going to get to do it the right way, right? Listen to me.
No, this is the right way. Tell me
Called
why
Thinking on Your Feet.
Revenge of the Sith is the best Star Wars movie ever.
Culmination of a brilliant trilogy. in fact, do not understand why it didn't win the Academy Award, much like Return of the King.
This is not
I'm
my
sorry.
level.
I'm sorry, Mr. Trump. Do you regret the lies that you have told over the last?
Fake
Dang it.
news.
Paul's got to take.
We all waited for find out finally why Darth Vader became who he became.
Spoilers.
Planet melting with lava for no apparent reason.
That sounded like a negative there. That sounded like
After
you didn't like that it was a planet of lava, Mustafar.
loved it. It was a feat of CGI.
I feel like you're literally just naming things from the movie.
I'm doing a great job defending. It's amazing. Amazing acting. Amazing.
And Mustafar was there.
Honestly, especially
Mustafar, Musta Good.
Ewan McGregor. Sorry. Yeah, Ewan McGregor.
Good. Ewan.
Consistently through 3 films acted like, what's his name? Burgess Meredith?
Yep, that's
Penguin?
it. Burgess Meredith
Yeah.
plays Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Quack.
Quack, quack, use the force.
I didn't know bell. Rocky, one more round.
Where is my drink?
Cut me, Obi-Wan.
Oh no!
That's the line of the night right there. We're gonna retitle this
Oh,
Nerd
that is the
Debate 2.
Kryptonian
Cut
fuck.
me, Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan.
Jesus Christ!
plot where extremely complicated plot where everyone behaves as though they have no idea what's going to happen next. Ending with the best impression of Frankenstein I've ever seen.
No.
Surprising the entire audience with how great of a final story. In the moment that we were all waiting for, everyone left the theater with joy.
Oh, I'm so happy I did this.
Couldn't have been happier. I hate you.
I want to hear Chuck's because I know he hates this.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So there's some great stuff that goes on here. We find out that Han speaks Wookiee. Come on. That is fantastic. It is they basically took one of the most iconic movie characters of all time and all of his great historical things and all of the stories that make Han Solo up, and they put it into a movie for us so we can actually visually watch it. We got him meeting Chewie. We got him meeting Lando. We've got him actually how he actually gets the Millennium Falcon. We get to actually see him do the Kessel Run, so we can see that he ran it in 6 parsecs.
12.
12. I'm sorry, 12.
I just want to know how you non-visually watch something.
He's on a roll.
Let me go.
So
I'm not
good.
done. Hold on. I'm not done. The cast
Germany?
is fantastic. We got Paul Bettany. We got John Favreau, Donald Glover, Alden Eidrick, obviously. We got Woody Harrelson. We got Amelia. What's her name from
Clark.
Game of Thrones? Clark. Thank you. I've had a couple beers. Like I said, these things are
Really?
10 point something.
Ooh.
Is Burgess Meredith in it?
He is not. The
Burgess
Penguin
Meredith's Force Ghost is.
Penguin does not make a.
They couldn't get
an
his family to let him do a CGI Burgess Meredith.
right? And we've got some great action sequences. I mean, we have pod racers that are actually fishtailing. I mean, who doesn't want to see a pod racer actually? Not a pod racer. What's that? The Land Cruiser fishtailing when they're having their car chase through the city. I mean, we've got a lot of great action, and we get, like I said, one of the most iconic movie characters of all time. So we actually get to see how he came to be Leia's husband. I mean, come on, who doesn't want to see that? That is fantastic.
All right, I'm calling it. Stop.
Wait.
Oh,
No, snap the line.
Yeah, I'm snapping the line. You guys did awesome with that.
That's
That was
ridiculous.
hilarious. But it's Chuck.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
What?
Can't
It's
believe I
Chuck
opened that
because
up.
much like me, this movie is absolute garbage.
Ugh.
And Chuck jumped on his feet, Close second was Colin by throwing fucking John Ford in there.
That was pretty good.
It's not wrong. He really is just totally. The other way of saying quoting the searchers is ripping off the searchers.
Oh, 100%. It is ripping off the searchers. But Chuck thought on his feet the fastest, maybe because he went last, but he literally just took all the things he hated and was like, this is a great part. Oh, and this happened. So I now know Chuck's argument of why it's a bad movie, and I 100% agree with him. So if it was me, I would have just done the exact same arguments that he was.
But which one do you really think is the worst of the four we chose?
Solo.
Really?
I didn't even.
Really?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No. It is Attack of the Clones.
Thank you.
Attack of the
I
Clones is
actually
the
had
worst Star Wars movie ever made.
I actually had
Have you
Attack
heard
of
of
the
the-
Clones as my first pick.
I
and
am
Casey
so
was
glad
like,
I-
nope.
Have you heard of the machete order? You can literally not watch an entire movie and not lose anything.
And guess which one that
Yeah.
isn't is
But you're-
Attack of the Clones is
You're right.
in the machete order.
Yes.
What is
Yes.
So
You
he's
can
saying
lose the
skip- you
Phantom
can skip
Menace.
Phantom Menace, and he's right.
And
Story-wise,
you
can
don't lose anything.
But there's nothing.
but
there's
if you
nothing in
skip
any.
Phantom
There's
Menace-
nothing into the clones that is
No.
excited is actually good, like the pod race or the lightsaber fight.
The pod race? Oh.
The pod race
pod
is a good
race is
action
great.
sequence. It's a good action sequence. It doesn't
Yeah,
mean
the pod
anything
race
in
is
terms
good.
of the story.
Oh god.
So we got one last question to end on, and that would be if you
Todd.
going.
You and I win this question, we throw this whole
Oh,
thing
this is
for a
not.
loop.
Wait. What? You're
Yeah.
going to phrase this differently.
2211.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's Shannon, Colin 2, Todd, and Chuck 1. All
Yeah.
right.
Todd,
Ready?
get your thinking
Literally
cap on.
anyone's
We
game.
need to work together here. We need to be you and I. We need to be like this.
You and I.
You know, Charles,
Here we are.
I feel as former
Hey.
supervisor.
No, you can't call me
Charles.
Charles. Casey can call
I'm
me
sorry.
Charles. You-
Charles Gordon, Todd Michael Panic.
Wait, whoa. The last time we talked, you did not know what the G was.
I have my sources. She may have come in and out as Darth Vader a couple times.
It's Gordon as in Frank.
Son of a bitch.
Betrayed.
Wow, the dark side has come out on me, huh?
Yeah.
Named after both grandfathers. Is that where that came from?
All right.
Here we go. If you could go on a date with any movie character, what would be the best movie character date for you? Colin,
Oh,
going
well,
first?
okay. So it's not exactly how you phrased it. You said best movie character to
The
go on a date with. It was less about who you would like to, but
Oh, either way. Yeah. Oh, all right.
are we not doing phrasing?
No, are we not doing phrasing anymore?
The Doctor.
From.
Doctor Who.
Okay, there you go.
Wait, are you going to narrow it down?
No, it's one character.
Son of a bitch. Okay.
He's right. It's all the same character.
All right.
What do you
Lisa.
got?
Lisa, Kelly LeBrock's character from Weird Science.
Shannon?
Again, you're going with something that made with a lab. Got it.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Officer Rhodes from Bridesmaids.
Chris O'Dowd.
Chris O'Dowd. Yeah.
Yes.
I've actually never seen Bridesmaids.
Oh, it's funny.
it's
Chris O'Dowd,
wonderfully
I can't
charming.
argue.
But he's a police officer, so he's already got my vote.
He's a cop.
I went with he's fucking cop.
He's a cool.
I went with Mary Poppins.
Oh, I considered Mary Poppins. I really did.
First of all, Mary Poppins is going to strongly disapprove of whatever you've planned for the date.
Todd, she's practically perfect in every way. You've already lost.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I just
On
wanna
a
say,
date.
I wouldn't normally share this, but I did see a tweet the other day that said Mary Poppins definitely pegs.
Jesus Christ.
Charles,
I will also point out that there is a strong rumor online that Mary Poppins is a Time Lord.
That's true. Mary Poppins might be a Time Lord.
Yeah, let's talk about
Well,
that
she
instead of
she doesn't age. She
Yes.
doesn't age.
She doesn't age. Her basket is clearly her TARDIS.
Yes.
So-
Wait, her what?
TARDIS?
TARDIS.
What is
Time
that?
and relative dimension in space.
Time and relative dimension in
the
space.
time travel machine
TARDIS.
that the doctor
So-
uses.
Well, she
The
can
Doctor.
teleport too.
The
So.
Doctor, a Time Lord from Gallifrey.
Yeah, but
Well, I
Lisa,
mean, that goddamn carpet bag. You've seen what she pulls out of there. God only knows what else is in it.
but
So-
Lisa's a smoke show and she's wise. Like
Well-
she knows what the boys need.
Now, I
Does she
really,
age?
I really went with the idea of best to go on a date with for anyone. The doctor can. You like Scottish? You like Northern? You like young? You like Matt Smith? You like David Tennant? You like women? So
two of those types are Matt Smith and David Tennant. Two of those types. Yeah.
I mean, there have been 15 on-screen incarnations of the Doctor, plus many more that we learned about in the last season. Here's where I get into really spoilery territory in case anybody's listening, that the Doctor has innumerable previous regenerations that she does not know about.
Yeah, but they don't get to bring
you can go
all of
anywhere
those to a date.
time. No, but you can choose whichever one. The Doctor has met him and herself many times because they're a time traveler. The Doctor can go anywhere in time, anywhere in space. You want to do a science fiction date? You want to go go on the rim of Saturn, or do you want to go have tea with Queen Victoria? Either one is an option.
I think that's too easy. I think it's a very easy way out. You can get whatever you want with like one person. That's way too easy.
So what your argument is that mine is too good.
Right. So same as mine.
It has
because
too
I
many
could jump into
a date.
I can teleport and jump into a chalk picture if I'd like, and go to the horse races. I can go to a carnival. I can go to.
But wait, can Mary Poppins go into space?
Oh,
Because the Doctor
can
can
teleport.
definitely go into
Does
space.
Mary Poppins put out? Because we're all adults here, so
Well, first of all,
The Doctor
So
has
automatically on the
canonical-
first date, you've got to
Colin,
put out.
canonical
be talking
grandchildren.
like that.
Colin,
that
you don't
Todd.
answer that.
And you know what? How rude of you to just assume that Mary Poppins is that type of woman. It's going to take more than one date, and that's not what I'm in this for, Todd. I'm in this for the conversation. She's doesn't age. She's been around for quite some time. She has helped numerous families. I want to know about where she's been, who she's spent time with. The conversation here could be fantastic. I mean, she's got a parrot umbrella.
You look at the Doctor, you've got infinite variety in terms of who you get to go on a date with. And you've got infinite variety on what you get to do on that date. I don't see how there's a better person to go on a date with.
I'm sorry, that timeline is fixed.
Doctor Who talk to animals?
Well, everybody can talk to animals, Chuck.
No. But do the animals talk?
Yeah, that's the question.
She still holds on to
Whether
that
the
gift
animals
that
talk
children
back.
lose.
There
She has that imagination, and she has that gift still, and that magic that kids have. That when they talk to their imaginary friends and they talk to their animals, and the animals actually talk back, she still holds on to that.
Well, the Doctor has in fact dealt with nurses who were cats and cops who were rhinos. So yeah, Doctor talks to animals a lot.
I don't know if that's the same.
Sorry, rhinos?
Yeah, the Jadoon. They look like giant rhinos.
Does he have a lovely English accent?
Sometimes he has a lovely Scottish accent. When he is when he is played by Peter Capaldi. But though David Tennant was not allowed to use his Scottish accent because the previous actor had used his northern accent, and they said no two regional accents in a row. Before that, he'd always been standard Brit.
Oh.
And now she
Settle down, Casey. Settle down.
Now she has a Manchester accent.
I'm a little surprised that all three of you picked like magical beings to go out with.
There is no magic in the Doctor Who universe.
Well, still, like
There's just science fiction that doesn't give a shit about anything reality.
None of you guys.
Todd actually came up with somebody that was invented in a computer, kind of like Captain America.
Yeah.
Who was his favorite superhero. So.
Yours is from a children's book, and yours is like science fiction show. Like I actually really like researched this and really thought about somebody that's a real human being. And you,
Mary Poppins is real.
Are you
she's
Are you saying that
she's a killer?
How is Mary Poppins not real?
Only human beings?
About
are you
that.
being speciesist?
Yeah, I am 100%.
He broke out the mask.
Time Lord, Time Lords look just like humans, or as the Doctor would point out to you, humans look like Time Lords.
Look, it's right in the title. I already said it once. She's practically perfect in every way.
I picked a very version of him.
Can I just ask, has anybody else's pick ever been referred to as the oncoming storm? Because don't you want to go on a date with the oncoming storm?
No.
No.
That sounds like something that I prep for, that I go and buy a lot of milk and bread and water for. Why would
That's
I
a cool
want to? Why
person.
would I want to date that?
Chuck packs a
Oh,
Jeep. for the
also, canonically also was briefly married to Queen Elizabeth.
I've actually got a whole house generator in case
the
of the
first, not
oncoming
the second.
storm.
Hard to have to live up to. Like, I was really thinking about somebody that I could actually date.
No, but
I want
So
all
was
of
I.
the
wait.
excitement
I
that
want to
Julie
point out,
Andrews
it is
is
not the
absolutely
person you
adorable.
want to be in a relationship with. It is the person you want to go on a date with. You want to
want
have
all
one insane, wonderful, amazing day in which you see Hannibal
Exactly.
cross the Alps and then visit Pluto.
Lisa's going to bring the post-apocalyptic biker gang in, but then there's going to be a lesson learned at the end, and we're going to come out better on the other side.
What do you think Mary Poppins does?
There's a lot of
Does
lessons
the
in Mary Poppins.
same
That's
thing.
true.
Mary Poppins does a lot of lessons,
That's very
and
serious.
she's done it for quite a while.
Mary Poppins only works for the very much masochismic. Like
What? The who?
I think the fact that Mary Poppins has a full-time live-in job
I
does
think
speak against her ability to pop
Yeah.
out for a date, whereas
Yep.
the Doctor is
No,
is
because
going on
if you recall in the movie, while the
8,000
kids are
years
at
of
the
being
fair,
unemployed.
her and Dick Van Dyke go out on a little jaunt and they go and visit the uncle.
That's true.
So, yeah,
I think that we might
he's
be
able to get out and about.
different mindsets in general here, because given that
You think?
you are given that you are all married with children and I am single.
That was not part of the question.
B, just let me finish.
And
Hold-
nobody here wants to date Al Bundy.
No, not at all. He's a shoe salesman.
Hold on, listen to me, little boys, listen. And B,
Little boys.
you are all boys and you want to date this sort of imaginary girl that doesn't exist. I, on the other hand, took this very seriously and was thinking of someone real and relatable that I might actually have a real date with. And
So-
just to be
So
clear,
you're talking
mine
about
has
a
been
fake
portrayed as a
movie
boy more
character
than a
that it
girl.
was envisioned in somebody else's mind as a real person?
Sorry, can you refresh me who Shannon's is?
Real
'Cause
guy.
I've forgotten.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I don't know who that
Who's
guy.
yours?
I don't even remember who it was that you want to date.
Because you were very busy fantasizing about your not real
No, because yours isn't memorable.
person. Oh,
It's
Casper
Officer
Milquetoast.
Rhodes
It's Officer-
from
right.
Oh, that's right.
Bridesmaids.
That's right.
Chris O'Dowd.
Right.
Well, he's a cop, so he's got to have some coolness to him.
So-
but I
so-
don't think it's.
But he's a Brit, so he's practically a communist.
First of all, he's an Irishman.
He's Irish.
Easy
Part
does
of the-
it.
Who's
Why-
from the
picked him.
UK.
He's got the accent.
He's,
He's very Irish. I'll tell you about him.
I don't want to really. No.
Sorry.
Casey, call it, Casey.
You're very busy in your own little heads thinking of your dream girl that doesn't actually exist.
No, she exists.
All
I
right,
see her
stop.
on TV
Everyone
quite
shut
often.
up. Everyone shut the fuck up.
I'm at a solid disadvantage with this one.
Shannon, you're out. Because you didn't attack their character.
Argument I could give.
The best argument was calling them little boys. That's all you did. You didn't talk about what was wrong with their characters. You just called them little boys over and over and over and over again.
There's-
So you're out.
Listen,
You're out. Shut up.
I'm at a solid disadvantage with this one.
What was that? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Why?
Solid disadvantage.
Oh, okay.
Maybe because of your poor choice.
Okay.
Sit in your corner and think about what you've done.
Yeah. You sit in your wrongness.
Was it you sit there and you're wrong to be wrong?
I don't know it. I
Yeah, it's West Wing.
yeah.
Great show.
Todd,
Were you quoting?
all you had to say was that she was a smoke show.
That's it. That's all she had going for her.
And she brought in a biker gang? I don't want to have to clean up after a fucking biker gang. What the fuck's the
Did
matter
you
with
miss? Wait, did you miss the statement that she's smart enough to know what the boys need? You clearly missed that.
I clearly missed it because
Sorry,
we're
the fact
talking
that
about.
that statement sounds like it's on the back of a VHS. You have to go behind the curtain to get.
Disregard the
Listen.
man behind the curtain, by the way.
So, Colin, how dare you throw stones at people who have worked at adult establishments that rent adult movies? You clearly must think poorly of those people. So how dare you?
Yeah, I don't think he was kink shaming.
No,
at
I
all.
think he was. I totally think he was. I think Colin was throwing stones at people who rented adult movies, just for reference.
So this comes down to Chuck and Colin.
So if I win this,
It's
there's a
battle of
three-way
Time
tie
Lords.
for 2.
That's right.
It's Battle of Time Lords.
And then I hate you
Absolutely.
all. Yes.
Chuck.
I think
Pourquoi?
everything that Colin pointed out, going to Pluto, doing all this stuff, it sounds exhausting.
Oh,
I don't know.
what do you just want to dance with Dick Van Dyke?
Yes, we do.
No one wants to dance.
On the
I-
rooftops.
I want to laugh and have a good time and float with above everything else because
Maybe have a little bit of rum punch.
ooh, rum punch. So I'm gonna give it to Chuck.
Holy shit.
What?
Wow, coming back from behind.
Am I the only Doctor Who fan?
That's what she
in the
said.
You
virtual
are
world?
the
I've never
only
seen-
Doctor
Yes,
Who
you
fan.
are.
Yeah, I knew
You
that was
totally
definitely
are.
a problem.
Never
Can I
seen
just
an
say-
episode of
can I
Doctor
just
Who
say
in my life.
I am disappointed nobody tried to challenge me on the fact that Doctor Who is a television character.
I got nothing.
Because
Well, I knew that he was, but I've never.
He's
And I
had
thought-
theatrical movies.
There
though.
were 2 theatrical movies
Yes?
starring two theatrical movies, then starring a then living Peter Cushing, which are regarded as semi-canonical at best. And I have notes and notes here about headcanon that make them canonical. It involves a chameleon arch and turning human in 2 very good episodes in
a
season 3.
chameleon arch.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what it's called. You guys should watch Doctor Who. It's really good.
Ever-
No.
All
I
right.
can't believe I pulled that off. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well
That's what
done.
she said.
Oh boy.
So wait, Chuck, I gotta ask, which Mary Poppins are you picturing?
Oh, Julie Andrews, of course.
You would do that to her?
Oh, you're a horrible person.
I love Julie Andrews. Come on, she is beautiful.
Especially,
legit-
especially Mary Poppins, Julie Andrews.
She is girl
particularly
next
beautiful.
door. Absolutely adorable.
That is way too.
Okay, so now
Now for the tiebreaker,
What?
which I have right here. Oh,
Oh boy! No, wait.
Wait, what
Who's
was
tied?
that?
Who's tied?
What was
Me and-
that?
Me and was everybody
this
tied?
there's 3.
hold on a
Well,
second.
Todd has to sit back and watch.
Todd has to sit back.
Todd has to
Todd
sit
been
back.
muted. Was Todd muted?
I muted myself.
Ow.
He mutes himself often. So this is between Shannon, Colin, and Charles Gordon.
Oh, poor Todd.
Yeah, Todd's angry.
So
Go get a
I'm-
haircut while you're waiting. For the
I got a
winner.
little something here.
It's like candy.
It is, in fact, candy. These are candy bars with some superheroes on them.
Oh,
It's 1, 2, 4, 6, and 7 of 7. I need you to tell me who 3 and 5 are.
Are you going to tell us who the others are?
understand.
I will say it once I hold it up for the audience at home, for the audio audience.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. We've got Superman,
Yeah.
Batman, The Flash, Aquaman, and the Green Lantern. Who-
Wonder Woman is
Wonder
one.
Woman and wait,
Wonder Woman and
Cyborg.
Cyborg.
It is Wonder Woman and Cyborg. Shannon wins.
All right.
Are you kidding me?
Wait,
we have to suffer
that's-
under her rule for another year.
That's
She
Do
said
you
it
know what-
first.
Do you want to know what threw me? You want to
that's
know
the
what threw me?
question.
Just hold them up again, Casey. Hold them up. Look at that art. Look at that art. And Todd, you'll know what I'm saying.
And
I almost said Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
totally
Look at
Martian
that
Manhunter.
Bronze Age art, and it
Yeah.
would have been Martian Manhunter for the art they're evoking. But now it's always Cyborg. He subs in as the Big Seven.
So returning champions tagline becomes reigning champion.
2-time champion.
I didn't look. Listen, you
I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't even understand what we were talking. I thought you were holding him up and then going to ask a question. I had no idea what we were doing.
I did hold them up and ask a question.
when you drink all night.
He was asking. It's. You really have to kind of follow the vicissitudes of who DC is subbed in for the 7th slot.
Man, you have some big words.
I cannot believe Shannon has won twice in a row.
I can't believe that was the
Wait,
deciding
wait.
fucking question.
Well, you can thank
What are
Danny.
those,
She was
Hershey-
at
Hershey
Target
bars?
today, and she saw these, and she was like, "Oh, extra nerd debate question." I'm like, "Oh, if I need a tiebreaker." So
Listen,
If it hadn't been that, I would have been like, hang on, let me look at the nerdy question on my phone.
you gotta learn to listen better, boys.
I'm just trying to remember who it was that was on the candy bars and the question
It was Batman.
Yeah, that's cool,
Superman,
whatever.
It was the
Aquaman,
Justice League.
Green Lantern.
Yeah, good. Great, grand. Who's in the Justice League? Great. No yelling in the bus.
All right, so
Shannon.
that's Nerd Debate 2, The Reckoning. Shannon, do you have any winning words to say?
Make them do Buffy.
Can you mute her while she says them?
Motherfucker.
Wait, so Colin, which movies are not in the helmet that you would like to have in there?
Buffy
I don't think that's important right
and
now.
Powerpuff Girls.
No, I don't want to do Powerpuff Girls. No.
There's no way it's not a superhero movie.
No, we already
No,
conceded
we
that.
agreed Powerpuff Girls has to go in the helmet. We
Okay,
agreed.
so it's
Talk-
just Buffy. Buffy
Yes,
is definitely a superhero movie. If Blade is a superhero movie,
Huh.
Buffy is a superhero movie.
I don't. That was a good game. Thanks for dealing with my rambling. Can you cut some of it? Because I suck. Yeah.
If we cut half of it, we'll go from 4 hours down to about 45 minutes. So
The entire episode is going to be you talking about Revenge of the Sith. That's
Yeah.
the whole episode.
Yep.
The new title of the podcast is Shannon Tompkins shares her thoughts on Revenge of the Sith.
Champion forever.
You know, because you didn't let me. Guess what? All my argument. I have 3 freaking pages on Revenge of the Sith. You didn't let me argue it.
Shannon, you won. Shut
So
up.
wait,
you know how the YouTube part of
No,
this
no.
would end so greatly is if it ended with just Shannon yelling and mute, and it was just
You want me to do it?
Yeah,
and
go
then,
ahead.
and then it's just like
Hey, tell us your thoughts about Revenge of the Sith. Go ahead.
Not doing it now because now I'm good.
Does
No,
anyone
I-
want to
I-
hear how the Doctor actually becomes a movie character?
So wait. Here, I think there's something critical to point out here. I feel that each of us has a story we did not get to tell.
All
I
right.
think we should each separately record an audio file
Okay.
of the argument we didn't get to make tonight
This is
that
just
we
because
will
you do
release
outtakes
as
every week
bonus.
Yeah.
is this the participation trophy part of the podcast? Is that what this is right now?
I gotta tell you, I love this
You
mute button.
son
It's
of
the
a
best.
bitch. That should totally be bonus content, though. Is
But he's still going on.
It's going to be.
Yes.
It's
Chuck,
awesome.
you know Todd. You can't stop him. When
No,
he's
you
the
can't.
thought in his
No.
head. He just
He's got to get it out.
Germans bomb
It's
Pearl
so
Harbor?
excited to
Yeah.
have so much room to run.
He's on a roll.
Yeah.
That's right.
all right. Let's definitely do that. So TSPHC Army, once again, thank you for joining us for this weird thing that was in my head for years that I decided I wanted to do.
Twice.
A
And
lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Todd, Chuck, Colin, thank you so much. Shannon, congratulations. Thank you. Yeah, don't get so uppity before I get to you. Jesus Christ, lady. Did anyone else see her face? She was like, how dare you not mention my name?
Fucking wild guess.
So we can't do Be Heroic together, I don't think.
No, let's not try that.
You could mute us all. We could go.
We can go.
No, I don't think it'll work. So
Can we-
I'm gonna expand on Be Heroic though with these trying times that we are having. Be safe, be healthy, and be heroic.
Damn.